respond to my calls, the one who deposits money into your account.
Mama Tiffany na Nikki anapika chai mzuri sana. Kwanza Nikki akiwa sana.
I'll be working at J&J from tomorrow.
Excuse me?
Forget about the position at J&J.
Finally, your true colors are coming out.
Mick, are you done?
Yeah, twende.
You have failed this family, and I won't let you fail the company too. Nick and I are doing just fine.
The 22nd day of September 2022, it is Good Morning. This is Good Morning Kenya. My name is Bentro. Enjoy welcoming you for the show. We have a comprehensive show lined up for you, and my colleagues will be joining me in a little bit. But first things first, we are looking at the day's news. Members of the National Assembly have been challenged to deter Treasury from borrowing high interest rates and loans. The AG, Director Parliamentary Budget Office, Dr. Martin Masinde, says the country's running loans borrowed externally have high interest rates, that make them too expensive. MPs have also been put on the spot over weak legislation that has created loopholes in oversighting the executive. Kamche Menza with the details on day 3 of the MPs' induction.
Like in my constituency we have 3 wards. Now from 37 million, I'm now, from 137 million, I'm now going to get 131 million. And the maximum constituencies with the 8 wards, they are going to be getting 165 million. It's not fair because I think I'm affected because I have 3 wards and we have said no, it should remain. But according to the CEO, it says that it was passed by us on the floor of the House. We are in June, and that's what they are following.
There are constituencies with big populations. With 8 wards, they get more money. 7 wards, less money. 5 is the most common among many. There are more than 130 constituencies with 5 wards. And there are unfortunately some constituencies that are small and only have 3 wards. So they get less, which is fair because of the number of people that you would be serving. So in that sense, for me, I think this is a more fair and equitable system.
MPs allied to Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party have given IEBC 48 hours to rescind the interdiction of Deputy Chief Executive Officer Ruth Kulundu, led by the leader in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi. 17 MPs accused IEBC Chairperson Wafula Chebukati and Commissioners Boya Molu and Professor Abdi Gulie of victimizing the Deputy Chief Executive because she stood for the truth in last month's presidential election.
Speaking on the sidelines of the ongoing induction of members of the National Assembly, MPs allied to Azimio la Umoja Coalition Party claim IEBC Deputy CEO Ruth Kulundu has been interdicted.
She was served with an interdiction letter at 10 a.m. yesterday. Now, what is again more curious in this saga is that the decision to interdict Madam Ruth Kulundu was apparently or purportedly made by only 3 commissioners.
The MPs accusing IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati and commissioners Professor Abdi Gulie and Boya Molu of targeting the Deputy Chief Executive Officer because she defended the truth in the last month's presidential election.
Let us ensure that we build the institution to a stronger institution that Kenyans can have confidence to come out and vote. Let's not divide this country, all right? Let us continue now and focus on serving the people.
So I want to tell him we are watching, and as Azimio, we will not let this happen. And as we have indicated earlier, as Azimio team, we are there to defend the rule of law. And we want the lady's case to be handled, and justice must be given. We are not begging for it.
In the show cause letter, IEBC Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan accused Kulundu of, among other things, convening a commission plenary meeting on August 26th without his approval or delegation. The meeting that was attended by the 4 commissioners who disputed the presidential results announced by Chairperson Wafula Chebukati. The Azimio MPs insisting Kulundu is being victimized for no crime.
We cannot countenance a situation where public officers, civil servants, are being victimized arbitrarily for no apparent reason, but simply because they have been able to discharge their duties fairly and transparently and impartially. That is the crime Madam Kulundu has committed.
What the IEBC commissioners are doing, they are simply terrorizing staff. We wish him now to take his mantle and now resist these terrorists from antagonizing and actually pushing out staff who are doing the right thing.
With the contract of Chairperson Wafula Chebukati, Professor Abdi Gulie and Boya Molu expiring on January, the lawmakers want the 3 commissioners not to be involved in the delineation of boundaries.
And now to the new sheriffs in counties, the speakers. A one-time 208 million shilling sport pesa mega jackpot winner Cosmas Kipngetich Koril has been elected as the 5th speaker of the County Assembly of Bomet. Koril garnered 32 votes to be declared as winner in the first round of the vote, with his close rival Weldon Kirui, a former MCA, garnering 6 votes during the election.
All the 10 elected and 8 nominated members of the Isiolo County Assembly were on Tuesday sworn in amid protest from a section of Isiolo residents. The aggrieved residents pitched camp at the entrance of Isiolo County Assembly chambers, demanding that former Laikipia woman Rep. Kate Waruguru's brother Kelvin Mbudhi Waruguru, who was nominated by the United Democratic Alliance to represent the minority groups, be exempted from the swearing-in ceremony, as he is a non-resident of Isiolo. It took the intervention of the area governor Abdi Guyo, who tried to calm down the protesters, promising to help them seek legal redress over the matter in the courts. Mbudhi vied unsuccessfully in his native Dingidhu ward in Laikipia County. Halima Abgudo Gole, who was elected as Cherab Ward member of County Assembly, was also sworn in, becoming the first ever elected female member of the Isiolo County Assembly since the inception of devolution.
So nawashukuru sana wananchi wa Cherab Ward wenye wameniamini kunipa hiyo kura kama mama.
And now to the corridors of justice, where Embattled Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa, who is expected to be charged afresh before a Kiambu court after the Milimani High Court in Nairobi struck out his application seeking to stop further persecution. In a ruling by Justice Esther Maina, the court found that it lacked jurisdiction on the matter. Meanwhile, Busia Senator Okia Omtata has faulted the extension of terms of office of directors in the office of speakers in the National Assembly and the Senate. Omtata wants the court to compel Parliamentary Service Commission to conduct fresh recruitment in accordance with the Constitution. Sarafina Robi with more from the corridors of justice.
It is a short-lived relief for the FKF boss, Nick Mwendwa, after the High Court struck out his application, seeking to stop any fresh charges against him. This comes after the Director of Public Prosecution said they had fresh evidence to charge him, despite the initial withdrawal of his case by the state for lack of evidence. Mwendwa, who has been out on a 10 million bond, had been freed in a 38 million Kenyan shillings corruption case after the prosecution failed to present evidence on the matter. The DPP is now at liberty to proceed to charge him with fresh charges as anticipated earlier before the Kiambu court. Meanwhile, Busia Senator and human rights activist Okiya Mteta has filed a petition challenging the move by the 12th Parliament's Parliamentary Service Commission to convert the positions of Director, Speaker of Office of National Assembly and Director, Speaker's Office at the Senate from partisan contract terms tied to the tenure of the relevant Speaker to non-partisan terms of engagement on 5-year contracts, renewable ones. The Busia Senator says each speaker shall be free to appoint their personal assistants whose tenure expires with them. Mteta now wants the court to quash the recruitment process used and compel the Parliamentary Service Commission to fill the positions of Director, Parliamentary Budget Office, Director Speaker's Office on the National Assembly and Senate, among others, in accordance with the law. Finally, 3 former senior officers of Tana River County Government appeared in a Malindi court and were charged with allegedly irregularly procuring services worth more than 3.6 million shillings. The 3 senior officers, former Water Chief Officer Mohammed Mahmoud Gurach, former Director of the Tana Water and Sanitation Company Tawasco, Guyo Makugo Madobe, and the company's technical manager Salim Juma Makorani, they pleaded not guilty to the charges before Malindi Chief Magistrate Elizabeth Osoe.
In other news, University Education Principal Secretary Simon Nabukwesi is now urging the 13th Parliament to review the University's Amendment Act of 2021, which seeks to allow scholars with Doctorate of Philosophy, PhD, and special skills to work beyond their retirement age of 70. Nabukwesi said such scholars have expertise which should be harnessed in research consortiums in universities.
Speaking during the International Conference for the Public Universities, chairpersons of councils and vice-chancellors in Mombasa, Nabukwesi said the conference seeks to review the status of education system at university level, evaluate issues of equity, access and quality of education, and review of University Act, among others.
We're also looking at the research portfolio, how we can motivate research scientists so that they come up with the renovations that can be admired and appreciated across the world, so that we also commercialize innovations.
The PS added that the education experts are seeking to establish strategies to reduce debt and guarantee sustainability while establishing appropriate structures for student placement and funding in public universities.
We're also considering that we are a fast-growing population, and with therefore increasing demand for university education. How do we make it of greater quality? How do we internationalize university education and create linkages with the industry and the potential employers, so that university products do not linger around looking for jobs and being jobless for a long time.
Chairman for Kenya Commission for University Education, Professor Chacha Nyaigoti, in his input on competence-based curriculum CBC, said it is learner-based with need to review the methodologies applied by tutors guiding the learners.
But we're also focusing on research, because the interface between what happens in the classroom and what happens in the field and laboratories is so crucial for the economic development. And as we innovate, as we do research, then we'll patent and publish. And when many people in a university do that, then that also adds value to the university in terms of the income through patents.
Chacha underscored the need to review roles of university councils and leadership in the governance structure of universities. Chairman Vice Chancellor's Committee, Professor Geoffrey Muluvi, said in the discussion they will focus on how to provide quality university education and sustainable funding of the same.
We'll also be looking at issues to do with research, innovation and commercialization in the university sector, among other issues. We will also be comparing experiences with other countries. We have presenters coming from South Africa and many other countries to share with us experiences in their countries and how they deal with some of the issues we are facing at the moment.
This comes as education stakeholders plan for a strategic response on the continued changes on the education sector.
Moving on, financial institutions are being encouraged to practice sustainable finance principles that require them to balance their quest for financial returns with the economy's future priorities and socio-environmental concerns. This emerged as Cooperative Bank was named the overall winner at the Kenya Bankers Association 2022 Sustainable Finance Catalyst Awards. Equity Bank was second, while Kenya Women Finance Trust, KWFT, was third.
In a world that is reeling from the adverse effects of climate change, social and economic inequality, advancing sustainable finance practices has become increasingly critical in giving institutions an equal footing to act responsibly. This, however, is still not enough, as the private sector requires more capital to finance climate mitigation and adaptation measures in order to reach its targets.
We do have new opportunities that are emerging to mobilize innovation, capacity, especially in the financial system, to better meet the long-term needs of the real economy in a sustainable manner.
Consequently, the banking industry has come up with ways to innovate financing mechanisms that can be harnessed to promote the global agenda of sustainability.
Kenya's real estate and banking sector, for instance, have shown tremendous potential in encouraging the country to transition into a green economy.
Congratulations! This emerged as Cooperative Bank was named overall winner of the Kenya Bankers Association Catalyst Award and was recognized for demonstrating exceptional performance in sustainable finance that has a direct impact on the financial services sector, economy, environment, and the society at large.
We call upon businesses to take initiatives to promote greater environmental responsibility. And today, financing institutions have established mechanisms to manage and mitigate the environmental and social risks to be responsible lenders.
Equity Bank emerged second overall, while Kenya Women's Finance Trust third in the awards, which recognizes institutions that practice sustainable finance with a direct positive impact on the financial sector, the economy, the environment, and the society at large. There were 43 entries submitted by 16 financial institutions. Kenya has been recognized as one of the countries that is most vulnerable to climate change, and this has prompted action from different sectors within the economy. Now, the Kenya Bankers Association has taken the mantle in green financing to ensure that their clients' risks are well taken care of and reduced with regards to matters climate change.
In other news, poultry farmers in Kiambu, Nakuru and Nairobi counties are set to benefit from subsidized chicks and an assortment of extension services from Kenchick's one-stop shop in Rironi, Kiambu County. Kenchick Managing Director Tim Toza says the subsidized chicks are aimed at increasing broods that have declined in recent months due to the high cost of animal feeds.
With the cost of animal feed at an all-time high due to the current drought affecting parts of the country and skyrocketing cost in the international market, some poultry farms have closed shop. Kenchick now says it will distribute subsidized chicks to assist farmers restock and reduce the cost of poultry products production.
And we are engaging with key stakeholders at the government level as well, for them to understand what's actually happening and the impact on the industry, as well as trying to mitigate against rising costs. I think we've been able to keep our costs as low as possible without compromising on the quality of the products we supply.
Kenchick has also partnered with Unga Group to provide digitized extension services.
We're going on from that. We are looking at financial services, working with the bank, how we can partner to mitigate some of the costs of borrowing directly for farmers in credit facilities.
Then it's up to us to see. We work together to see how do we cushion, what elements of the cost can we take in as a producer or manufacturer to be able to cushion the farmer so that they don't close shop.
The developments comes after Kenchick commissioned the Rironi Chicken One-Stop Shop facility that offers an assortment of key extension services to poultry farmers.
We decided to open this RONI with the opportunity of getting closer to the customer and really providing what they need in terms of services, products, extension services, technical services and financial services.
Poultry farmers are calling on the government to intervene and reduce the cost of animal feeds.
Kura ya kuku imetuumiza.
Every other week you go to the shop and they tell you there has been an increase in feeds, which has been such a big challenge for us because with the high cost of feeds we have fluctuating egg prices. The feeds may go up and the next market day the egg prices have gone down, and that is beyond us.
Now, hospitality industry players at the coast are banking on the completion of refurbishment of the century-old 9-hole Mombasa golf course to boost tourism activities. The coast, that is renowned for its beach and cultural attraction, aims to diversify into sports tourism that is gaining traction.
The beach and cultural attractions along the coast draws hundreds of thousands of tourists yearly, making tourism the coastal region's main economic activity. The 20 million shillings refurbishment of the 111-year-old 9-hole Mombasa golf course is expected to further boost tourist activities, leveraging on uptake of sporting activities.
Cost us in the region of 10 million, and it is done. It's completed. That's why we're launching it today.
But we are looking at the next phase to automate the irrigation system, which all golf courses are moving towards.
The course has been undergoing a number of redevelopment projects over the years, with the latest being the installation of an irrigation system to water the grass.
Tunataka kuingia phase 2 ya hii project ambayo itakuwa ni desalination project.
Once complete, the golf course overlooking the Kilindini Channel, connecting to the port of Mombasa, will offer scenic views to golf lovers. The Mombasa golf course is strategically situated along the iconic Mama Ngina waterfront park and is among a top 100 historical sites gazetted by the National Museums of Kenya.
Let's now shift focus to matters sports, where 5-time East Africa champions Kwadanze Girls Secondary School will face perennial nemesis Kesogon in girls volleyball final at the ongoing Federation on East African Secondary School Balls Games in Arusha, Tanzania. Meanwhile, Kenya's Hospital Hill were bundled out after losing 22-25 to Uganda's Dynamic in the boys' handball semi-finals.
Kenyan champions Kwandanze humbled Rwanda IPRC Kigali by 3 sets to 1, while Kesogon saw off Mkalapa of Tanzania by 3 straight sets. The encounter will be a repeat of the national finals, where Kwandanze defeated Kesogon to lift the title.
Kwa hakika haijakuwa rahisi, imekuwa ni vita na upinzani umekuwa mgumu, umekuwa ukiongezeka tunavyoendelea kiwango cha juu. La leo semifinali ya IPRC ya Rwanda ilikuwa ngumu kweli, lakini wasichana wangu wameweza kujitolea, wakajisatiti na wakabadili mbinu, wakaongeza pia ujuzi ambao kwa hakika umeweza kutuwezesha kuibuka washindi.
In the boys handball, Kenya's Hospital Hill were bundled out after losing 22-25 to Uganda's Dynamics in the semi-finals, while Moi Girls lost 14-20 to Kizinguru of Rwanda in the girls' handball. In girls' basketball, Olympic of Kenya lost 30-43 to Nabisusa of Uganda, while Uganda St. Noah humbled Orkeswa of Tanzania 57-48. Uganda emerged the overall winners in the previous edition of the East African Games held in Arusha, Tanzania, with 27 medals, 11 gold, 9 silver and 7 bronze, while Kenya maintained dominance in the athletics, bagging 10 gold, 11 silver and 6 bronze.
Reigning Africa volleyball queens, Kenya Commercial Bank stunned Kenya Defence Forces by 3 sets to 1 in a friendly match played at Ruaraka Sports Club ground. This was KCB's first competitive match after Machakos Open Mega Volleyball Tournament in July.
The Lioness won the first set 25-12, with their West side securing the second set win with a win of 28-26, before the Bankers won 25-18 and 28-26 in the third and the fourth set respectively. This was the team's first competitive match after the Machakos Open Mega Volleyball Tournament in July.
At least tulienda tukarectify ile ya Machakos kidogo, at least imetuinua. Kuna pressure because lazima to win league because tuliwin Africa, sasa lazima tu tupeane the good results.
With the Kenyan Volleyball Federation League set to resume in October, KCB assistant coach David Kinga said the team is on course to clinch the title having missed out last season.
The way I'm assessing the team right now, I can say that they are above average for the training because, by next month there'll be a league. So we are ready and preparing for the league. That's why I'm bringing so many friendly games so that the ladies can be used to.
Masi Moim, Belida Barasa, Immaculate Nekesa, Edith Wisa, and Sharon Chepchumba are the only absentees, having made the final cut in the national team Malkia Strikers that is currently in Netherlands for the FIVB World Championships.
And that's where we put a cap on GMK News. Thank you so much for watching. Allow me to appreciate just two people who have been watching or keenly following from Kikuyu. Represented, we have Johnny Wateri, we have Anita Mbogwa saying good morning. Okumbi DC Nyamboga, you say good morning Kenya. Denisco Bet from Nakuru, thank you indeed so much for everyone who have been watching. And I'm not alone. We are a group here, and on the other side, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Ben.
Yaji bro.
Fiti sana, kutulia tu kwa hii baridi. Just waiting for my cup of coffee.
Inabidi bro.
Inabidi. And of course we're joined by Steph Ayeta.
Yes, well, it feels good to be back, It's been a long way home.
I've missed you.
I've missed you guys too. It's been a minute. Yeah? Nimerudi sasa.
Awesome
I'm here
stuff.
for the entertainment. Thursday is all about the good vibes, so I'm here to have it all, to enjoy it.
Exactly. Thursday is indeed the new Friday. We have a lot lined up for you in terms of entertainment and, of course, a lot of riveting interviews with artists and creatives being Entertainment Thursday, so stay tuned for that.
All right, stay tuned. As Mike has said, it's great to be back. Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope to take you through your morning in style and just set the pace for your day, yeah? Good morning to you. My name is Stephanie Ayeta. Troy.
And a lot has been happening, Mike. And yesterday, of course, the president's speech at UNGA will be forming basis of a lot of discussions. Today had a very eloquent speech at the UN summit yesterday. But this is how the standard looks today. And before we'll take a quick break, allow me just to peruse over. New speakers have taken over the counties. Yes, indeed, some had been chaotic, but so far so good. Now we have constituted National Assembly, the Senate, and now the County Assembly. So it's done and dusted elections. And now it's down to service delivery. Ruto locks in Uhuru ministers. That's the headline, talking about President William Ruto administration slamming the brakes on all the foreign travel trips for existing Uhuru cabinet secretaries, committing them to active duty officially until the new ones are sworn in, while slashing their powers. Joseph Kenya also yesterday issuing a statement in regards to those foreign travels and saying they have been frozen, at least for now. And this coming in the wake of damaging reports that the presidency just before the election had spent colossal amounts of money in terms of foreign trips, and indeed at the time where the economy is quite challenged. Another thing that is right here on the standard and a keen eye in terms of graft, Kenya in the mix as 48 charged with 30 billion, not million, 30 billion fraud in the United States. American authorities say that defendants created farms that forcefully claimed to offer food to children, then sought reimbursement and sell it to buy luxury cars, jewelry and property in Kenya. Does that sound familiar? We're talking about the US, but in Kenya context, does it sound familiar? Well, something else that has, and I think we have touched at this on the news, is Omtata former speakers pushed hiring of cronies. In terms of the nomination list that were indeed first put in Parliament, they were returned, and now Busia Senator Omtata is accusing former parliamentary speakers of pushing for hiring of their cronies. That is something that also is forming news in the Standard. More or less here, it's more or less on governance. Ruto moves to lock in who CSs to duty, but with less power as he awaits to swear in his cabinet. Build back better from bottom, Ruto says. President speaks about Kenya's commitment to end plastic pollution. This is in line with the ban that we have been having on plastic bags in relations to ensuring that we have a safe and clean environment. But of course, we have seen, Mike, I've seen the plastic bags. You order some nyanya, some nyama, you see the plastic bags are back. And in line with what we are talking about in terms of climate change, this is quite a detriment.
They never went anywhere, actually. I've always seen those plastic bags whenever I go buy my little skuma, to nyanya. They're always around.
Yeah, they're being used chini ya maji. As long as you're not found using them, you're safe to use them. So, yeah, so people are still using the plastic bags, but clearly it's hazardous to our environment, affecting the climate, and this is one thing that the president really has a focus on. So we are hoping that, you know, as a country, we'll be able to take the milestones to helping in the climate change, you know, campaign.
Yeah, and last week, actually, we carried a story where some endangered turtles were ingesting the plastic bags. They usually eat jellyfish, and the plastic bags kind of look like the jellyfish, and they suffocate them, and they are not only endangered, they are actually very few in the country. So something that needs to be checked. And another thing that, of course, is forming basis on discussions in the country in regards to the Mombasa port, after President William Ruto talked about the Inland Container Depot ICD from Naivasha will be taken back to Mombasa, and says comply with Ruto's order, lobbies tell Kenya Ports Authority. Of course, the people from Naivasha do not want that taken away from them, but on the other hand, Mombasa are talking about this was ours, let it come back home. Yes, indeed, inside more on politics when it comes to the change of guard after tight polls in the general election of last month. A lot in terms of the swearing in of now speakers. A lot has been talked about when it talks about when, yes, and Kaloki loses yet again in the speakers race. Professor Kaloki, who was Polycarp Igathi's running mate in Nairobi's gubernatorial race, lost yesterday. The first round had Mbilu Douglas 25 votes against Kaloki's 22. We are looking and keenly checking how things are going to be panning out in counties, and most specifically, President William Ruto in his inaugural speech talked about ensuring that he strengthens devolutions, and speakers are key because they are third in command when it comes to counties. Mike?
Yes, and on the Daily Nation, just a quick look at it. The front headline reads, Ruto freezes jobs, tender payments, and just a quick look at that. The decree has frozen appointments by CSs to boards of state corporations or state agencies, and redeployments or any new appointments in any rank within ministries and state departments. Next up is Raila called ODM crisis meeting. The ODM leader Raila Odinga has called a parliamentary group meeting next week to quell disquiet in the party over House leadership before Parliament begins its sittings. Next up, still on the front page of the Daily Nation, St. Paul's University students win 120 million shillings in US competition. That's about $1 million. And still on Matters America, it's a funny story that I would like us to discuss before we move on to Stephanie Ayeta. America is on the trail of stolen billions stashed in Kenya. Apparently, detectives from America are looking for suspects who spent about 30 billion shillings in stolen cash from America. They did a few things like buy properties in South Sea and beach villas, so they had a really good time with that money. So the detectives are on the trail of these suspects. What do you think about that, Doreen, as we move on to the paper?
It's quite interesting, trying to just do the much you can, eh? Yeah, try to do the much you can.
And one thing I've noticed is that we mostly export athletes, coffee, tea, and now, based on... Actually, there was another case last week of 100 million. A Kenyan also has been indicted at the United States. And we are also exporting corruption now.
I hope that's not a new talent that we're acquiring from the
because
it's just the level of wanting to survive. People are doing...
They're going out of their way.
The unimaginable.
You know, and we are used to Kenyans, the story is that Kenyans are actually the ones taking their money to other countries illegally, but now they're bringing it into Kenya. Well, these are some of the things that we hope will be looked into by the new government to just eradicate corruption in Kenya. And, you know, we don't want to be associated with corruption that are coming in also.
Another issue, we have stepped it up. Now we are not talking about millions, we're talking about billions being stolen.
Exactly. All right, a quick look on what the People Daily is holding for you this Thursday morning, and it's just the issue of a public PSC seeking public views on contentious CAS position. Remember that this was a position created by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017 when he took office, but just months ago the High Court declared this particular position unconstitutional. We have had President Ruto alluding to return of this particular position, so we just wait to see how this will pan out. And so before any movie is made, because it looks like to be a push and pull, a tussle between these two offices, the Public Service Commission has then gone ahead to just seek public views in respect to whether or not these positions should be retained or be scrapped off, as the High Court had mentioned there. Also, lawmakers and salaries team clash over parks. This is again an issue that also came up in the run-up to the elections, where the Salaries and Remuneration Commission scrapped off some of those parks that were enjoyed by parliamentarians, key among them being the car grants as well as the sitting allowances. Remember that the Senate sits 3 times and the National Assembly, I think, 4 times. And so each of this seating, they were given an allowance of 5,000, and this is what the SRC scrapped. And again, for those that were lauding the move, were saying that indeed, if what this parliamentarian is being paid for, legislation, oversight, representation, then again, why are they being given allowances on top of exactly what they do to be paid for that same job? So that is also what was coming out. But this really yesterday wasn't canvassed by the chair, that is Mengich. However, when it came to the issue of grants, that was granted to the parliamentarians. So, except being given loans to purchase, the vehicles, that at least was given, and that now they can be able to get the grants. But when it comes to those parks, she said that this is an issue that they still have to consult, and equally asked them to give her 7 days to just consult on that matter before this can be agreed upon. And then lastly, why HIV infections are high among girls and young women. This is equally an article that you really, just like to read through to understand why these numbers keep going up amidst some of those efforts that have been made, of course, by the state. But much as that looks to be the issue, still these numbers are going up. 63% of young women and girls account for new infections alone in sub-Saharan Africa when it comes to matters of HIV. We want to take a very quick breather, but when we come back, we still have plenty more on the other side. This is Good Morning Kenya. Stay put.
kwamba Jackie alitekwa nyara na utasiwajua?
Nataka kuyajua haya maneno.
Pili, unasikia nilosema?
Mr. Laba, not again. Your daughter needs you, both of you.
Sasa vipi leo utamshabikia Kate wakati mimi ndio mama Kibadi?
Mimi sitaki kuteseka kwa makosa ya Badi.
Sitaki kusumbuliwa kuhusu Jackie alipo wala atakapokuwa.
Days will come and days will go. The season change.
Ana rabbukum, na mimi ni Mola wenu. Fattaquni, muniogope mimi, bimtithali awamiri, ili wakutekeleza amri yangu, wajinabi zawajiri, na muepuke yale nimekataa.
Kunazo dua ambazo Muislamu anafaa kutekeleza ama kuzisoma wakati ambapo anatekeleza shughuli katika maisha yake. Kuna dua ambazo unafaa kusoma wakati unapoamka, wakati unapoingia msalani, na wakati ambao unaenda kulala, na pia katika shughuli zozote zingine. Na pia biidhnillah ta'ala wafaa kufahamu kuwa kuna dua ambayo Muislamu anafaa kuomba wakati anapotaka kufanya maamuzi, na dua hii yafahamika kama istikhara.
الوجود محمد في ابتهالات.
I thought maybe it was Juju.
What Juju? Is there anything like Juju in the first place?
Well, Juju maybe amelongwa.
Wacha gingora na biga kelele na biga nduru. Mama katoka ndio.
Oh, a second ago you were begging for my help and now suddenly I'm useless.
Wenda huko.
Theophilus, I won't allow you to demean other students, but if you push it, you will be staring at your suspension.
I don't buy threats anymore. I have a bigger problem than a college suspension.
Wanapiga wimbo yangu. Wanapiga wimbo yangu. Hiyo wimbo ni yangu.
Wewe na usitupotezee wakati hapa.
Nakataa.
Mnakani wewe.
Sikuwa rada. Ona siasa ndio niko rada.
Nakuuliza, mtu akitupa akili yake atoe kwa kichwa atupe, anapaki na nini?
Yule alikuwa ameweka kimongre mchini. Unacheki?
Mimi sielewi. Situletee kufiatu kisi zako hapo.
Sikuwa na rambatada mtu wangu. Si hata ulikuwa unacheki ndara. Sikuwa na rambatada.
Mozimbiting.
Simbiti kuzombo toto.
Uzibitingala, Mozimbitingi, Ebesingla, Esamade ni wewe.
Na ndo nakwambiaje, ukirieu, machuda, makete na makwete. Utazipata
wewe.
Umeuliza nini?
Wewe. Sitaki mchezo, unasikia?
Leo hii kwenye KBC Channel 1 tutaangazia utafiti wa miti na ufugaji wa kuku.
Kuna watapeli wengi kule nje wanadanganya watu ati zile wanauza ni dawa za kutibu karibu kila ugonjwa, lakini ukweli hakuna mti mmoja unaweza sema ati inaweza tibu magonjwa yote.
Ungana nami Frederick Mbadha nikupe uondo kamili.
For some fun activities.
I love swimming because I felt like it's a good game when people are like swimming and racing in the water.
Our story today is about a small boy who also feels a bit sad every time his mother has to go to work.
I'm going to show you guys on how to deep fry your potatoes with just a single twist. When mornings break, as an innocent infant, I wake, cheerfully chanting good morning to the dawn. Happy that Sunday is gone.
I have come to lift up my hands. I want to see some hands in this place.
I want to be successful and I want to be the best. I want to be independent and understanding. But if I don't go to school, I will learn. 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 I will learn.
Welcome back to the program, and we obviously appreciate your valued company. Time for us to embark on our first conversation this Thursday morning. Of course, matters to do with wellness will dominate this conversation the next 30 minutes or so, and my guests are here to help us converse around that issue. To my extreme left, that is Carla Sillard, who is a child psychologist, and she has so many titles underneath her name. So when we move on, she'll be introducing herself further in respect to that. Right next to her is Edna Thiong Ombugwa, who is equally an author as well as an entrepreneur. Karibu sana to the program, ladies.
Asante. Thank you.
Good job. Now, this is actually also the book that we'll be really touching so much on as we move on with this conversation. And perhaps to just begin with you, Edna, this is Tea with Mom, Stories of Mothers. You've told me 46 stories are in here.
Yes.
Tell me something more about this.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you so much, Doreen, for having us.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be in Good Morning Kenya. I'm a fan. I always watch and I'm like, oh, it's such a nice topic. Good morning, Kenya. Yeah, so Tea with Mom is a collection of 46 stories written by men and women about their moms. And I wrote this book when I became a mom. I always want to say that I became a mom a little late in the Kenyan standards at 40.
In the Kenyan standards?
Yes, and my mom was very stressed.
What's wrong?
Like, please have a baby. And and when I became a mom, I think because I'm an entrepreneur, I run a business and I am always busy, I thought that I would handle motherhood the same way as I handle my business. I actually used to tell my friends, I'll hire people, one will be holding my boob, I'll be typing on my laptop, I'll be in my heels. I didn't think that it was a job. I thought it's something that you can actually delegate, just as probably you can do in the corporate world. But I was shocked. Because motherhood grounds you, it stops you. You stop everything. I actually stopped for 6 months. I said, let my business burn. And I was just looking after this little human being who keeps you up 24 hours. You don't stop. You don't look tired. People imagine that you're not very tired, and so I felt like there's not a lot of support for mothers because people find you very strong and they expect you actually to be strong. In fact, you're told, when I told every mother, they were like, yeah, that's what we went through, please be strong. And so for me, the inspiration to write this book was the gratitude that I felt for my own mother. I was like, Mom, you did this 5 times, she lost one, so like 6 times. How did you do that? And she started telling me about all her experiences, raising us up in Othaya, Nyeri, in the dark. There was no electricity. And so how was she making sure that we are okay at night? How was she waking up to change us, to take care of us? It was really deep. And so I wanted to talk about my mom and just praise her and honor her. And I thought other people also have mothers. And so as I talked to a lot of other people, my friends, they talked a lot about themselves in their journeys of being moms. And everybody really acknowledged the role their mother played. So we talked to men and they couldn't stop talking about their mothers. They adore their mothers. And so this these stories are, you know, like a few are also from men and a lot more from women, and they're different. So there are stories that will make you laugh, others will make you cry, others will make you really recognize the role of mothers in our life. Yes.
Well said. I mean, coming to you, Carla, you are equally working on a similar book as this, and I know your forte is mostly on matters to do with trauma, and that's what you're passionate about, and we'll come to that momentarily as we move with this conversation. But also talk to me about this book that is quite similar to what Edna has written, and why for you also wanting to just talk about moms and children. Why?
Sure, yeah. Well, good morning, Kenya, and thank you for having us here.
Yes.
It's a pleasure. I am loving this country.
Are you
just wanted to say
yourself?
that. Yeah.
What do you like the most?
I mean, people and I mean, also the nature is amazing. We went to this area to a safari yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. I've never seen something like that before. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm finding this culture similar to mine. I'm from Mexico, and people are as kind as Kenyan.
Oh, nice. It's the love of the people that you like the most.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead then. Tell me more about, you know, the similarity of the book that you're equally working on.
So I am working with women. Actually, we were down in Taita for a program. for a program called Women's Empowerment Program, and that's what I do. I work with women around the United States, Mexico, Italy now, because we live in Italy. And a couple of years ago, I started working in this book. We still don't have the title, and the pandemic has slowed down our project. But we are a group of women. We are older. We already had the experience with our children, and we're writing about that. So I am also collecting these stories, and as I said, it's very, how can I say it? It's emotional. You can read the stories, and you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna think about what motherhood is. It's not simple, and that's been my experience. So my goal is to create that awareness in women and in society. So I think a book like this one or mine have to be written, have to be out there, so women don't think that being a mother is just, having a child there, growing up like kind of automatically. No, you have to give so much of yourself. And
okay, what exactly is your inspiration behind writing a book such as that? I know that you've just alluded a bit that largely your experience, but you've also traversed different parts of the globe. You just talked about Mexico, you've also been here in Africa, in Kenya. But really, just looking at also the experiences, the stories around, what really informed you to want to talk about this, to pen the thoughts down in a book?
I see a lot of problems. I feel that children are not doing so well lately. It's been hard for them, the pandemic, and then having these devices around all the time, they're kind of disconnecting. There is more depression, there is more anxiety, and I think we need to do a better job as adults raising them. And that really touches me, to see a child that is not looking at your eyes, or they're like kind of lost, and it's hard. The kids are very fragile. I am myself a mother. That's also driven, is a passion for me to talk about these topics, because I see how the way we interact with our children is going to reflect directly to the child, and things happen. Life is not easy. We have one problem, we solve that. We have another problem coming, we solve that, and that's life. and kids are there, and if you don't help them understand and kind of if you don't help them manage difficult situations, then the kid is gonna have some anxiety, some problems. I'll give you an example. We this summer we went to Mexico from Italy, but before that we lived. It's been the pandemic has been a little bit difficult for us. We've been moving so much. We were in California before that, then Mexico, then Italy, and now in this summer we went back to Mexico, and then back to Italy, and it's been too much for my daughter. She's 6 years old now, and I just noticed that she started having this. I'm not even sure if it is alopecia. I'm suspecting. She's losing a little bit of her hair, and even though I'm doing like the best I can to explain things to her, like we're going there, we're gonna be there for a while, and we're gonna come back, and you're gonna be fine. And I really try to not stress her, right? But as a psychologist, I know that she's going.
Something is wrong.
Right, just by traveling too much, So they're so fragile, and we need to.
And oftentimes it's the mothers who bear the brunt of some of these issues, trying to want to explain to the children that this is happening because of this and that.
Exactly.
Has a way of always coming back to the mom.
We were having a conversation on the phone a few weeks ago, Edna and I, and we were talking about how parents don't tell children what's happening. Even divorce, they're getting divorced. They're moving from one home to another one. They're not explaining. They don't
changing jobs from this country to this country.
Yeah.
You know, this country to this country. And sometimes parents just imagine, you'll just get used to it. You'll understand it.
Yes. No, we need to explain more things, to make ourselves available, to interact with them more, to play with them more, you know. That's going to be the key for mental health.
Well said, and I can just feel the passion in which you're really talking about these issues. But let me come back to you, Edna. I know you talked about, you know, you got a child later in your much formative years, and you didn't quite imagine that the situation was as how you found it. You know, you just really thought that the way in corporate you would say, do this, type this, type that, that's how it would have been with a child, but that wasn't quite the case. So even as you're compiling the stories, I mean, 46 stories is quite a lot of stories. Just gathering stories from different people. What are some of these issues that you really found from people, basically both men and women, in how, you know, just to raise children, so to speak, or even being as mothers? What are these key issues that really do they grapple with?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Doreen. I think, as I said earlier, it's I think God gives us the grace, and that's what actually I said in this book, because Carla, I don't know how you feel about that, because there's no manual. There's nothing written like how we do other things. Parenting and even taking care of children is just God who gives you that grace, and it just kind of happens. And there's not a lot of support. There are not things that are written down somewhere that you're going to read and follow through. So you kind of learn on the job, and that's why it's very difficult. You're learning on the job. So you're waking up, and there's no same day for a child. Every day is different. So they're growing, they're changing. And I think that's one of the things that I found was difficult. When people talked about their mothers, and especially when because it's our age or maybe younger, talking about their mothers and the things they went through, there were a lot of challenges. And as you said, kind of comes back to the mom a lot, the weight of raising the children, explaining to them. And even in this book, there are people who told stories of how their parents separated and how they moved back to their grandmother, maybe with the mother, you know, in the villages or in the cities. And you can see a lot of what can I say? It's just like you're working in the darkness. Like you're really in the murky waters. It's a tough job. And for me, the rallying call, especially to the corporate world and even to the society, is how can we support this mother more? For example, in the corporate world, when we show up, today you and I have showed up and there are gentlemen here. The gentlemen probably slept the whole night, you know? But us, we were, I'm not sure whether you're a mom yet, are you? I'm not asking you that question. But you can imagine a mother like myself and others, we were looking after our children. They were maybe having a fever, checking whether they're sleeping properly. You as a mother, you don't sleep. You're always autopilot. You don't sleep. You're always listening to the kids. Are they sleeping well? Are they coughing? Are they well covered? Are they warm? Well, your husband probably just sleeps very well. I've written a book here. Sorry, husband, Tony, I love you so much. But I said, goodbye sleep here. And I said how I was looking at my husband snoring.
And you just had to be up.
At the beginning, I was just the usual typical girl. And I was like, I breastfeed, you burp. And he did that for a lot of months. But then I said, let me let this guy relax. And then I took over the work. But I realized that a woman will do more.
Yeah.
You will do
by
more.
Default.
By default, yeah. And then the other things that I noticed, obviously, that are important to support is the loneliness. It's a lonely kind of journey. As much as women, we talk a lot. There are a lot of second guessing yourself. You feel lonely. You don't want to show people that you don't know what you're doing. If you find challenges, especially as your child is developing, it gets even lonelier and worrisome. So there's a lot of support that is needed, even from the society, from communities, but also to help our moms and us as women to speak up more. we should not bottle all these emotions. We need to let them out so that we are able to also, decongest, because it's quite a lot. And the other thing that I noticed is that in Kenya, we get a lot of women going through postpartum depression, which is not noticed. So one of the things that you hear across the societies is people saying, since she got this baby, she went crazy. Have you noticed that our friend nowadays is not okay since she became a mother? Because people don't understand that somebody can go through postpartum depression. And if it is not addressed, then it becomes real. I'm sure Carla will talk about it's traumatic. It becomes real depression. And in our words, layman language, we can say someone is either mad or crazy or all those derogatory terms that people fear and that are stigmatized. And so a lot of mothers are bottling all that. And I like that their society, there are some groups now that have come up to address postpartum depression, and we are doing a lot of work. We have done a few talks, even with the support of some corporate organizations like Safaricom, to raise this awareness and to bring this awareness to fore and to really, really find ways of supporting moms. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I found. Of course, other great things like men celebrating how their moms cooked for them pancakes and enjoying just having chats with their moms, going home and having tea with their moms. And that's why I titled the book Tea with Mom, because that's mostly what a lot of us would do. When you go home, your mom will offer you a cup of tea in a thermos.
It's just in the nature, it never misses.
Yes.
Carla, when Edna was talking about, just some of those experiences, and she really touched heavily on how it could be a lonely, it's a good journey, but at some point it could get lonely. And really, so you agreeing on that, and on that aspect of it sometimes being lonely, and again, this is what could lead to what we call the postpartum depression, which could ultimately lead to the trauma, which is one of those areas where you're so much passionate about. I just want you to touch a bit on that, and perhaps how we can navigate that, because this is a story of many mothers as we speak.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Edna. It's very challenging. You're dealing with a change of your identity. You're dealing with so many changes in your life. Your schedule, you're not sleeping, you feel lonely, and sometimes you feel even criticized. You're vulnerable to others' opinions about how you're doing as a mother, and that's too much stress. And sometimes mothers cannot manage, and they just shut down. And the problem is that that's going to affect the child. As I was saying before, children are very fragile. A newborn not detecting the smile of the mother, or the loving look of the mother, it's going to get some stress. The baby's going to be stressed as well. And that could lead little by little to a relational trauma. This is something that psychologists are talking more about, that there is trauma in the relationship with the mother or the father. There is trauma there that is not detected because it's just a bad relationship. No, we can call it, I just didn't have a great relationship with my parents. But that's actually, that could bring this complex trauma, and you don't detect it. You just have the symptoms like insecurity or anxiety, and you don't think that it's related to the relationship with your parents, right? And that could be very, very, very challenging. There are experiments that psychologists have done with children, and it's very interesting to see how by observing the baby body, the reactions of that interaction, you can tell that there's a big link between the well-being of the mother and the well-being of the kid. And for example, lately, with the use of the screens, mothers are too much sometimes in the screen, and they have this like neutral face. the kid is always looking for the expression of the mom, right? To make sense of his own experience, right? And when they see that they cannot understand what's going on with the mother and she's been too plain for a long time, the kid gets anxious, you know? And they mistake the face of a mother looking at the phone with depression. The kid starts behaving as if the mother was depressed. There's the same face that they cannot read. Like a mother that is depressed is not going to have these expressions or this voice, these these interactions that keep the baby alive, right? So the kid is going to be somehow traumatized. We call that complex trauma because it's not about something that happened to the baby and you can sometimes do something about it, right? This is something that is not detected. It's nothing that happened to the baby. It's actually the opposite. It's something that is not happening, which is love and interactions, and that's not happening, and the kid is not developing the right way. So there is so much to talk about. I mean, in terms of interactions with the mother, and I think that the way out is support, as Edna said. Like the father has to be more aware and involved. The family, you know, if the mother feels criticized, she has to voice it, right? Sometimes it's with their own mother, and or by the closest people, right? She feels criticized, so she has to voice it, and she has to get strong. She has to be able to deal with the stress. She needs also, the mother needs to get the right information, not just support, but information about child development, or there are now a lot of businesses around coaching mothers, and also the League of how to breastfeed them. There is a lot of support out there, so the mother can get some more help.
I hear you, and I'm really saying it looks like Edna wants to chime in on that. But before I let you, there's something that you've said which I'd want you to just elucidate a bit on that. And this is when you talked about that fathers also need to support. And clearly from how you've narrated, that shows you that this could have a long-term impact on that child. And at this point, the mother is just working. This is basically what she's doing. Maybe that's why they're on the phone or they're on the PC doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're required to actually put up that straight on face. But the way it's rubbing off to the child, it's a different message. But even as you talk about fathers supporting, we are also alive to the fact that not all families would really constitute of both a mother and father. And there's this instance scenario where you're having that mother solely as the mother and father of the children or the child. So at this point, how do they get this support? Because at the end of the day, they also have to be whole and well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very hard, because also, you know, there are these needs, like the mother needs work, right? Or there is no time, you know, to spend with the child. So it's very, very challenging. And I think that the mother also needs to understand that if she finds the right support, if she finds another woman that is like a mother for the child, and she can relate to that, then you know, the mother is going to be less stressed. I mean, there is always someone that is going to care, or the mother needs to find someone. It could be a friend, you know, and also someone to talk to, you know. I do a lot of consulting in my private practice, and I totally see how by talking to me 1 hour a week, they improve so much.
It does go a long way. Okay. I just want to take a very, very quick breath. Of course, when we circle back, we continue this conversation. There's a lot to talk about. Just touch the surface.
Yes.
Time for us to take that break. We come back with both Edna and Carla just to keep talking to us about matters of wellness, of course, that intertwined with a lifestyle. Stay with us.
Hearing that Genova's returned.
Yes, he was here, but he's left again.
So quickly.
He left Betsy back in the human world. He was in a rush to get back to her.
People can make my father mad. You're really talented. I respect that. Take care.
Shut up! Do you even know who I am, huh?
Highness.
Let him go. Dark magic. Avian dark magic. Well, this started long ago. What could this be about?
What if Ethan harassed me? No doubt the king would punish him. So don't be afraid. In the eyes of the king, I'm important.
If only I had given you the starfish, and if you had accepted it and responded to what I had always been feeling for you. If only you would realize that this love is eternal.
Cheese!
No!
Why did you turn your face?
I don't like my pictures being taken. No, don't do it again.
Why? What's wrong with your photo being taken? Do you really mean that, love? Will you be able to kill someone?
It depends on the motive. But yeah, I think I can. And you?
I wish you'd be able to remember who that other woman who was carrying the gun was so that we can obtain real justice.
Thomas, after the hell the Samoan werewolf Fatu put to you, you wish to enter in again.
Abandon.
You want to take that risk with your family sitting at home, worried about if Daddy is going to be all right. Your children's tears are going to be on your head, and Fatu's hand is going to be on your throat.
Tom Lawler, this ain't no Figure 4 podcast.
Welcome back. You're still on Good Morning Kenya. We continue our pace with our conversation on lifestyle and wellness, still holding court with my guests here. That is Carla Szilard to my extreme left, who is a child psychologist, as well as Edna Thiong'o, who is an author. In fact, the author of the book that you're just trying to, get bits and pieces of it as we move with this conversation. But she really talked heavily on, just tying the two, wellness with the development of the child together with the well-being of the mother. And I'd equally also want you to touch a bit on that. Just talk to us about the linkage marriage between mental wellness or mental health altogether with the development of a child? How is this tied together? And of course, I'm talking about the wellness of the mother together with the development of the child.
Yeah. Thanks, Doreen. I think for me, from my experience, and that is the reason why we're calling for this deep support, is because if the mother is okay, the baby will be okay. If the mother is happy, the child will be happy. And we have seen, even in our societies, like for example in Nairobi, we have seen when the city council is harassing the mother who is carrying a little baby, and the child will cry and they'll feel traumatized. If you look at, some people say that these children are not theirs, but when you look at these mothers on the streets carrying these little babies, you can see even their faces are worried, they are traumatized, they are not happy. And that is also like what we see at our homes. If the mother is not happy, or say the home environment is not safe, we'll see the children will also be traumatized, or they may also grow up because of that trauma. They may also suffer some issues, even later. We have seen all these things that are leading to drug abuse, depression, and in our societies, traditionally we would say maybe like a father, like son, or we would just say that family, they're like that. But I think what I have learned is that a lot of attention is not being paid to the societal issues that affect families. And those, she said she's a consulting psychologist, so she may be talking to someone maybe once a week. Here we don't have a lot of that support, especially in this country. Most of the time when you say that you want to see a counselor, or like people tell you that you need to see, hey, people are like kuna shida gani? It looks like it's almost like stigmatized. People don't want you to, there's a stereotype of like, hey, are you crazy? Like, you're seeing a shrink? Is it, so it's not an ordinary thing that I will walk to.
And some would even tell you, we've been here before, you're not the first mother, you would be the last one, you're not the first one to go through this, you would be the last one. But sometimes don't understand the magnitude.
Exactly. And even these people who, like my grandmas, 2 of them had over 10 children, and they raised them, and they did great. May they continue to rest in peace. But what we're saying is that they probably also faced challenges, and along the way overcame them. So it doesn't mean that because you have raised 10, you like you're so strong. And I think for me, what I'm saying is that I think we need to drop the word strong and say, let us be mothers of strength. Mothers of strength, not strong mothers, because you can be a strong mother. You need a hug, you need support, I mean, sometimes I just say, I just want to close my eyes, and I tell my husband, please just look after our baby, or just hold me, please. I just want to, the TLC, and that it's 3 a.m. at night, and he would do that, thankfully, because he understands. He's been there, he's raised children. So I think that is what we are saying. Let it not look like you're weak when you're asking for help. Let it not look like it's because you're weak, or you're not. It's not like everyone is like, it's because you're coming in late. You should know how it has been for us who did it, I don't know when. It is the same. I think it is important for us to be vulnerable and to accept that vulnerability is okay. It is okay for us to allow ourselves to ask for help, and it is also okay for us to support even when we are not asked.
And there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Exactly, and there's nothing wrong with your boss saying, would you like to take a day off?
My boss is listening.
Yes, your boss should be listening. I recognize that you've been breastfeeding the whole night. We would let you, rest a bit, or even provide opportunities like what we are seeing corporate organizations doing, building nice creches where moms can come with their babies, and in between breaks they can go and look at after their kids, or just see them. It's not a bad thing. People say mothers are crazy. Every time in the office they're always calling this, how is my child? Is he smiling? Is he eating? Yes, that's who we are, and we are worried. We just want to know the baby
and
is
some
okay.
would say, when you're at work,
it's actually normal. No, it's normal. Let us normalize motherhood. Let us normalize the challenges that come with it. Let us normalize those conversations. Let us normalize conversations of asking for help. Let us go to doctors like Carla and ask just to talk. for 1 hour about nothing. It's about a lot. I think let us normalize those things. If somebody needs to talk, let them talk. Let us open the society and have those conversations. I think we are still in a developing country, so we have a lot more, maybe bigger challenges of food security and other things.
That will imagine what is talking compared to the issues.
But for me, I believe that a mother is taking care of the next generation. So because we are guaranteeing the next generation and we want it to be whole and well, let us also support that, because it's a very important aspect of the children that we're going to bring, who are going to take this country to the next level. So it's a big role, and it's a topic that requires conversations, and we need to be on the table.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, you saying that it's a third world country. We are in Africa. Africa is our business, and right now there's a lot that we're talking about: food security. You're talking about issues of drought, climate change. And we're thinking, okay. So here, sitting with Carla and discussing about my issue, how is that important compared to me getting food on the table? But this is your business. This is what you do, and you just gave that example that you would sit an hour plus just talking about these things. You know, these issues that mothers or women, so to speak, are grappling and are facing. Even in that practice, what are some of these biggest contentious issues that you've come across, and how do you tell them to deal with? Because I believe it's issues that cut across nonetheless.
Yeah, resilience. I've seen in my trip to Taita, I've seen mothers that are very resilient. They, you know, because they've struggled, so they can do like beyond what they can give. They can give like everything they have, right? They do their best. That's one thing. A mother is always going to try to do her best, but if the mother herself is stressed, then she's going to think she's doing her best, but she's not, you know, and she doesn't know she can do better. But just taking a pause, you know, and then patience. Patience. We as mothers, we're very patient. We wait for the first teeth, and then we wait for the baby to speak. We wait. We're always waiting, and we're learning patience, right? So I think patience is very, very important. If a mother is too anxious about things and wants to everything to work well and is very anxiously, even desperate, if the mother is like that, then that's going to reflect. If the child spills the milk, the mother is going to react strongly if she's not calm, right? But if she's calm and the baby spills the kid spills the milk, the mother's going to say, don't worry, let's clean it, and the kid is going to learn that everything is okay. The kid is not going to be in stress. The kid is going to feel like, okay, I do something wrong, but we can fix it, and the kid is going to learn. But if the mother is stressed and just reacts very strongly for everything, then, you know, things are going to get even more complicated. So resilience, peace, money, and patience. Patience.
But again, also, there's this things that even as a child, you do not have control over, and we've seen them catching up with that child even at an advanced age or stage as an adult. Some of those traumatic issues, some of those examples that you've given. So then how do you navigate this? And even in your practice, because you practice a lot of, you know, the child psychology and dealing and talking with them, how then do you come off this? It's something that you didn't have control over. There's nothing you would have done as at that time as a child, but now you're growing and it's still affecting you based on how things transpired or things happened while you're growing up. Some of those traumatic issues. How do you work around those?
Yeah, well, therapists do a lot of introspection. Like, we try to generate these insights, you know, try to make our clients to think through, to really take a look at what they're experiencing and where it's coming from. And usually from my experience, when a mother is that stressed and like like almost desperate and anxious is because her mother was like that. It kind of passes through generations. You're not calm. It's the way you learned to be in that kind of relationship.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is that you just don't decide, sort of like there's a history behind it?
Yes, yes. It comes from very deep inside. So that's part of the creating this awareness, you know? Like mothers really need to go inside themselves and understand why they're like that. Feelings are our guides. So if a feeling is insisting, there is a reason why. If a mother is all the time angry, there is something that needs to be fixed. Anger is telling you need to fix something, you know. Or if a mother is sad continuously, there is something that needs to be done, and that's why there are guides, you know, our feelings. So going into those feelings and learning more about it is going to help. You know, that's why I was telling before that the mother needs support, but also go to the right sources of information, you know, to understand how they can approach it. Because motherhood is something very emotionally very complex.
All right, well said. And you're already pressed for time, and I want to give you the last word, Edna, on this one, just to get your headline thoughts in under 1 minute. Motherhood is complex, so moving forward, it will never end. It's here to stay. It was there before. It's here. It will always be there. What would you say?
I think,
in 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Doreen. I think we'll just say, let us enjoy the grace that God gives us, because it's obviously just God's grace that allows us to perform this role, and let us continue seeking for support. I like what Carla has said. Let us also get the right information. So we need a lot of information out there, like what we are doing now. Let us create the awareness that there are these challenges and this is how you can solve them. So obviously we need to call for more books to be written, even on the how to. I think Google has a lot of the how to be a mom or how to do this and that, and I think we need a lot of that awareness, a lot of information out there. For mothers, let's continue reading. Let us continue working with the support groups that are available. I like all these WhatsApp groups that are coming up, all the groups in the society that are coming up. They are great. Let us continue joining those groups so that we are supported. Let us enjoy that support and sharing of information so that we are better, and also so that we can raise the next generation powerfully. And finally, please buy a copy of Tea with Mom, because it's a very enjoyable book to read, and we are continuing to tell the stories of mothers. So I look forward to doing a lot more of that work. And for all the moms in Kenya, I appreciate you, the biological moms, the adoptive moms, the step moms. You are awesome, and you're doing a great job.
All right, well said. Good place to end it. Thank you so much, ladies, for making time.
Thank you.
I have been speaking to Carla Salat, to my extreme left, who is a child psychologist. Right next to her has been Edna Thiong Mbugwa, an author as well as an entrepreneur, of course, just giving us their thoughts, their insight concerning the issue that is wellness intertwined with matters lifestyle and motherhood. Good place to end this conversation, but Good Morning Kenya still is on. Plenty more coming your way after this breather. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Kwamba Jackie alitekwa nyara na utasiwajua.
Nataka kuyajua haya maneno.
Ili unasikia nilivyosema.
Mr. Laba, not again. Your daughter needs you, both of you.
Sasa vipi leo utamshabikia Kate wakati mimi ndio mama Kibali? Mimi sitaki kuteseka kwa makosa ya Badi.
Sitaki kusumbuliwa kuhusu Jackie alipo wala atakapokuwa.
Have you spoken to Nick?
What about?
Wait, you know angry at me.
Respect. She's your mom.
That's not for you to decide, is it?
What kind of games are you playing?
You're married. A dead husband who will not respond to my calls. The one who deposits money into your account.
Mama Tiffany na Nikki anapika chai mzuri sana. Kwanza Nikki akiwa sana.
I'll be working at J&J from tomorrow.
Excuse me?
Forget about the position at J&J.
Finally, your true colors are coming out.
Nick, are you done?
Yeah, twende.
You have failed this family, and I won't let you fail the company too. Nick and I are doing just fine.
What's up, party people? They call me DJ Coljax. Now be sure to catch me live on KBC Channel 1 each and every Friday, right here on KBC Channel 1 from 10:30 p.m. and each and every Saturday from 11 p.m.
You're rocking with the best in the business. It's DJ Coljax.
As I play you nothing but the best in throwback disco funk hits from the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. Tune in.
For some fun activities.
I love swimming because I felt like it's a good game when people are like swimming and dressing in the water.
Our story today is about a small boy who also feels a bit sad every time his mother has to go to work.
I'm going to show you guys on how to deep fry your potatoes with just a single twist. When mornings break, as an innocent infant, I wake, cheerfully chanting good morning to the dawn. Happy that Sunday is gone.
I have come to lift up my hands. I want to see some hands in this place.
I want to be successful and I want to be the best. I want to be independent, understand things. But if I don't go to school, I will learn, I will learn, I will.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. That was Doreen Arange with a very riveting interview. Make sure you go on YouTube. That's at KBC Channel 1 TV if you just missed it. Next up is a minister. And let me just call her a minister. I won't call her an artist because of the way she approaches gospel music and the industry itself. Welcome, Winfred Wango.
Thank you.
Karibu kwa studio.
Asante sana.
Like I said earlier, we were having a discussion actually, and you said your approach to music is different. You're not in any competition.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Whenever you're watching me, my name's Winfred Wango. Winfred Wango is a gospel minister, born again. I'm singing while born again because I know there are some people who are singing while they are not born again because some people take it as a talent, but mine is a core. And I appreciate God that He has entrusted me the ministry, and I'm doing it with a lot of passion and a lot of commitment, knowing that whoever who has entrusted me with it is watching.
Kipawa.
Yeah, and the kipawa. Anaiangalia tu aone vile naipeleka. So I just want to be faithful with it. And I know God will take me through.
There's something I want to do before we get into your story. There's one of your songs actually connected with me. Nifanye sauti yako.
Wow.
That's a beautiful song, and I felt like a lot of people are connecting with it. And what I want to do, I want to read some comments on your YouTube on that song. This is by Rogers. Alisema, I lack words to express the anointing in this ministry, sister. You're a blessing to me. barikiwa. When you read such a comment on your work, what do you feel?
I just feel humbled. I just feel humbled because ministry is ni Mungu alinipea, and you cannot do it without anointing. And I appreciate that people have loved the anointing, because you can sing and then you lack the anointing. So I many of the times when I pray hard that God gives me the anointing more than ministering, I take my time, I pray, so that I may isifike mahali nitembee na talanda na niachwe na Mungu.
Na vile sasa tumeongelea about the current state of gospel in Kenya. How would you describe it? Do you feel like it's not really about ministry? Do you feel like it's just, people trying to make a quick buck? Watu wanajaribu tu kupata ile pesa ya haraka ya gospel? Okay,
one of the things that I should say is that when God entrusted you with the ministry, alitaka uibebe na isi yako ifikie watu wengine. But now kwa mtazamo wa kwangu, nimeangalia nikaona that people are competing and people are after fame. And that's why I told you that I don't want to do things like I'm competing with anybody. I just want to go, nataka kuenda pole pole. And that's why me, sikimbililiangi kutoa nyimbo. Naweza take like a year before I release another song. I can take like have one here before I release another song, because I take time and I pray. Kama song kama hii ya nifanye sauti yako. This song ilikuja nikiwa Katoloni. I was in prayers at Prayer Mountain at Katoloni, and then when I was praying, I heard, and because I know God has called me, and there are so many prophecies that has come my way that Winnie, God has called you and He has made you a voice. You will be heard. I don't know when, but bado ninatembea na Mungu na najua nitafika. Yeah. Now,
let's talk about your conviction and ministry. Unaona nini ndio ilikudrive ku get into it? Is there a particular thing that happened, ama what was your calling? Because I hear people call it a calling. What was your calling? How did you feel in the mwelekeo wangu?
Okay, mine, okay, it's a call, and yangu inanisumbuanga. As in yangu, if I don't do it, I may become sick. Mine is something very funny. Mine is, nikikosa kuiachilia, itaniletea stress. So, nasikianga ni kitu Mungu aliniaminia kuibeba, isaidie watu. So, every time nataka kuimba, sitakangi kuimba ati nipate skiza chord mingi, because naona mtu anaenda anatunga wimbo unaona mtu anataka kuimba wimbo, anaitafuta, hii wimbo ikiwa na watu, ikiwa kwa skiza, watu watapenda hiyo skiza. Me, I don't consider those things. I like singing what I hear, because I know it will minister to people. So mine is a call that I believe that when I sing, somebody should get encouraged when I'm singing, and somebody should get healed when I'm singing. And I believe in God, wonder I will minister until Kiwete Atembe. One day, I have that faith in me.
And you also minister at JCC Donholm.
Yeah, my church is at JCC Donholm, and mtumishi wa Mungu anaitwa Peter Mutuko. Yeah, I know they are watching.
Yeah. Guidance gani amekupatia as your minister in terms of navigating this tricky industry?
Mimi niko kwa praise and worship. Sometimes I do preach, although iko chini ya maji. I'm under mentorship. Awa naenda kuimba, naenda kupreach mahali, naweza alikwa niende ni preach mahali. Sometimes naweza itwa niende kuhudumu like a gospel minister, and then when I get there, nakuta nimekaliwa na mavazi zingine za Bible, and then I encourage people like 10 minutes before I sing. So it's a ministry ambayo iko wide.
Well, okay, just to rudi nyuma kidogo before we talk about something. There's something that you said in terms of vile unaandika wimbo. Ni kitu unasikia alafu ndio unaiandika. Lakini kabla tufikie hapo, nataka tuongee about your childhood, growing up. Ulikuwa una grow up around such music. How was your life before becoming the minister?
Okay, mimi nilianza kuimba nikiwa mtoto mdogo sana. And kuna time mamangu aliitwa kwa station moja iko na huko kwetu Kitui, inaitwa Wikwatu FM. aliengenjiwa tu kwa simu akiwa kwa nyumba, then aliulizwa maswali. Huyu msichana alianza kuimba lini? So alisema nilianza nikiwa like 4 years. Like 4 years ndo nilianza kuimba, nikawa nashangaza watu. Okay, wakati nilitoka that time, tukiendelea telea nika Sunday school, nilikuwa naimba, nikaenda secondary, nilikuwa naongoza huko. I was one of the leaders wa CU. So I was singing assembly, tunataka winia tuongoze wimbo. Nikiwa katoka, nilikuwa kama mtoto, sijawahi naona. Nilikuwa kama msichana kadogo sana, watu wanashangaa kanako kanaimba aje kadogo hivi.
You know, I was just about to say that because as I was talking with you, you know, you're so reserved, umetulia. Lakini nikisikia nifanye sauti yako, sauti ndio inatoka yote.
Inatoka kubwa kuliko mwili.
So it's always been evil.
Yeah, it has been like that. Yeah, even naweza imba nikiwa ndani ya nyumba, and then wale watu wanaingia wanakuja kuangalia nani anaimba, wanashangaa. Sasa hiyo sauti na huyu ni vitu mbili tofauti. But I thank God.
Awesome stuff. So wazazi walikuwa na ku-encourage?
Wazazi walikuwa na encourage sana. Me, I thank God, nimezaliwa kwa jamii ya watumishi wa Mungu wengi sana, and they always encourage me, they mentor me. My parents huwa wananitia moyo even today. I know my mother is nilimnunulia TV. Najua ana watch. Niliwaambia watune wanione huko. So it has been a long journey, but I appreciate God for this far. Amenifikisha.
Na bado unaendelea kwenda mbele? Bado
naendelea, hata nasikia kuna wimbo ingine. Sikutaka kushikanisha nyimbo, lakini kuna wimbo kubwa inakuja. Yeah. Zaidi.
Unaweza tupatie ka snippet kadogo tu?
Hiyo inakuja? Hapana, sitaki kuimba hiyo inakuja. Maybe uniambie niimbe hii, nifanye sauti yako.
Utanibariki ukiimba hiyo. Kwa sababu acha nikwambie, people back at home, let me tell you, you have to listen to this song. Make sure you go to her, it's true, make sure you go to her YouTube channel and be sure to enjoy the song. The song is Nifanye Sauti Yako by
Winfred Wango.
Yeah. Na on your YouTube imeandikwa Winfred Wango Winner.
Yeah, Winfred. On Facebook ndo Winfred Wango Winner. YouTube ndo Winfred Wango. Yeah.
So kabla tuendelee na interview, nataka tubariki na, you know, nataka ni chorus peke yake. Tusikie vizuri as we're enjoying our coffee.
Sijaitengeneza vizuri, haijaiva. Sasa sijui
tuimbe Nifanye Sauti Yako.
Nifanye sauti yako, Yesu, nifanye sauti yako. Popote sauti itakaposikika uonekane, nifanye sauti yako.
Wow. People in the studio now, they just have better, you know, at least now the camera people are smiling now.
Yeah, they are so happy. Nimewapenda.
Awesome stuff. Let me ask you this, because you said you're not in competition, yours is a ministry.
Yeah.
But it's still a job in itself, kuimba.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years even?
10 years, I see myself as a landlady. Because Biblia inasema kwamba the gift ya mtu itamtengenezea njia. And I know mahali masomo haikunifikisha. This gift itanifikisha. So I see myself, I may not be in Kenya.
Kwani unataka kutuacha na vile tunafurahia your music?
Sitakuwa ninakaa huko. I will be coming, but I see God, naona Mungu akinipanua sana. Naona Mungu akinipanua sana, and I think ni mimi nimejilimit, because servants of God wenye nimekutana na wao wherever Mungu amekuwa akinipeleka kuhudumu, wamekuwa wakiniuliza, Winfred, do you have a passport? So one of the things ambazo mimi sijui ni nini, niko na shida gani, ni kwa sababu sishuguliki passport, lakini nikitoka hapa naenda kukimbizana nayo, because I can see God is taking me somewhere, and for the next 20 years I will come here. I'll come, hata kama nitakuwa wapi, I'll come, and I will give a testimony of what God can do, because I see myself big.
Let me make
as
an
ministry is
observation.
concerned, as na nasikianga nikitafutwa na uchungaji. So sijui nitakuwa na kanisa ama nitakuwa nimeolewa na mtu ana preach. I don't know, but I believe that God is going to take me.
Una feel hapo ndio inaelekea?
Yeah, nasikia, kuna venye nasikia. Yeah.
Na like you said, ukisikia unaandika na unaimba.
Naiandika na ninaimba.
Nieleze hiyo kuisikia part. Inakuja kama a full song, melody yote, kila arrangement, ama inakuja kama a word?
Some of the songs zenye huwa naimba huwa zinakuja sometimes nikiomba sana. Nikiomba sana naweza sikia kakitu tu nifanye sauti. Mungu atakufanya sauti. Kakitu tu. And then nasikia Mungu ananiongelesha kwa hiyo that you have to do something on this voice. So sasa ni mimi sasa nichukue muda wa kuchukua kalamu na kitabu ndio ndiandike song. But me, thank God, this song ya nifanye sauti yako sikuandika. I know my producer is watching me, ako pale Kitui, Hilary Makete. Hey, I know he's watching. Yu jamaa alinichezea wimbo na sikuwa ninasoma mahali. Siku yandika, as in nilitengeneza tu na nikaandika chorus peke yake. And then nikaenda nikavaa hizo mavitu na nikaambia Roho Mtakatifu wa Mungu, sasa kuja tuimbe na wewe. Wow. Sasa nilimba hizo stanzas zote nikiwa hakuna mahali nasoma. Hakuna wimbo mwingine.
Huko umeandika?
Hakuna wimbo mwingine nishaimba hivyo. Unaona hii wimbo yenye nilikuwa nimetoa yenye inasema Yesu nipande kwa madhabahu. Hiyo wimbo nilipendwa na watu wengi. Lakini sasa hii nayo views like 2 weeks. Naona imekuwa na views more than 4K. Imenishtua. Na mimi nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu every time nasikia sauti naenda nasikia Mungu tu ananiongoza. Nikiimba kitu naona imepenya. So najua hii ilikuwa na Mungu, sio mimi.
And what I want to do is to encourage you even further, kwa sababu let me tell you, your voice na vile unaandika wimbo kuna vile inagusa. There's another comment by Felistus anasema you are indeed a voice to nations.
Amen.
Anasema this is a testimony from him. In May 2021 I so desperately needed a word from God, and then the word came through your song.
Yeah.
Vile tu umesema itaenda iguse mtu with a specific purpose.
Yeah, and she even aliingia kwa inbox yangu ya Facebook akaniongelesha. And there's a time nilikuwa na minister kwa mahali tukakutana na huyo dada mwenye aliachilia hiyo comment, and she told me she was going a lot. And in fact when I was there, because nilikuwa nimeitwa kuhubiri, niliimba then nikahubiri, and then she was there. And I released a prophetic word. Jana ndio niliona ameniandikia wakati aliona hii poster yenu kwamba nitakuwa huko, and I know she's watching. Aliniambia alikuwa anapita kwa kipindi ambacho kilikuwa kizito. And then wakati alisikia huo wimbo, akasikia wimbo unamhudumia. And then me, I thank God how God is doing to the lives of people about the ministry. Yani mi nashukuru Mungu kwamba watu hawasemi, wanafurahia. Najua you can sing and people say, umetufurahisha. Mimi sitaki hiyo. Nataka ile unasema I was sick and then I became healed. I was down, and then when you were singing Winfred, the grace that you carry imenitia moyo. That is what I want to hear. I don't want to hear Winfred umeinuliwa sana, niliona kagari yako umepita. No. Gari zitapita, pesa zitapita. I don't want those things. I want what God has entrusted me to carry ihudumie watu wengi. And that's why nilikuwa nasema wakati wa Musa, kama Musa angekuwa na Mungu na kama angesikiliza Mungu, wakati walifika pale baharini, hawakuwa wanajua wafanye nini. Alikuwa anatembea na Mungu, and then he could hear God of what God wanted afanye ndio asave wa watu. That is what I want. I want to be a savior to people. I want to hear God about Kenya. Mimi niliambia watu, I know what God is doing. I don't know watu sijui nyinyi mlikuwa mnapingia nani kura. Sitaki kuingia kwa hiyo laini ya kura, but kuna venye nilikuwa nasikia kwamba Mungu anataka mtu atuongoze ambaye anaelewa kanisa. Mtu ambaye na mke wake pia ni muombazi, na hata kama inajulikana aje huko nyuma, we don't want to know. But what I knew is that God is moving with people that are walking with him. And that's what it's the desire of my heart, that huduma yangu iponye watu.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Kuna challenge gani umeface during your ministry? Because I can imagine, for someone who wants to take it seriously and looking at most of the jokers who are, there, what are the challenges you faced so far?
Okay. Challenges zimekuwa nyingi. Especially when you want to release a song and you don't have money. That is one of the challenges ambazo wahuduma upitia na ambazo nimepitia. unakuta uko na huduma iko kubwa. And you feel like I want to record this song and I want to shoot it na quality zuri ya video, na zile video ziko chini saa hii, ni wimbo moja ni kama 15,000 per song. So unakuta kwamba umeimba album ya nyimbo nyingi lakini una pesa. So hata saa hii waimbaji tumeprefer kuimba wimbo moja, unaimba wimbo moja, unaishoot na unairelease. Hivyo ndivyo sasa tunafanya, because sasa ukiimba volume yote utakuja kushindiwa katikati. Because sasa challenge yenye nimekuwa nayo ni hiyo ya pesa. Challenge nyingine ni ya kukaa katikati ya watu ambao hawaelewi unabeba nini. Unakaa katikati ya watu ambao wanakupinga vita. Yani unakaa maisha ya kulia, because the package that God has entrusted you to carry, they don't understand it. It's like a pregnancy. You are pregnant, but people don't understand the kind of clothes you have to wear and the kind of food that you should take. So unakuta kwamba uko pale, and then unaumia kwa sababu kuna kitu unabeba hapa haikuruhusu kuinama. Kuna kitu unabeba hapa inataka nyama. Na wenye uko na wao hawaelewi kama unataka nyama. So unakuta wanakupea githeri, so ina affect mtoto. Yeah, so nimepitia vipindi zingine zenye okay, unaweza kaa kwa kanisa fulani, huyo pasa akuelewi, and I'm sorry to say we honor them and I honor them that kama sio neema ya wachungaji singefika mahali nimefika. Let me tell you. Na kama si kuheshimu wale ambao wanaheshimu kila nabeba, singefika mahali nimefika, maana kuna wengine wameipinga na haijaisha. Nimepita challenge mingi sana za kukataliwa, zingine za kudharauliwa, zingine za kuambiwa you are not born again, zingine za kuwekelewa vitu. But all those things, today I'm breathing because God is together with me. Na niliambia Mungu hata kama nipite nini, I will stand to become an encouragement to other people. That's me.
Become an encouragement to other people.
Yeah.
And the people who are watching you, and it's not just singers. Kuna watu wanakuangalia saa hizi. Unajua ministry inaweza kuwa kitu yoyote.
Yeah.
Wanataka kukuwa as encouraged and, you know, as forceful about it as you are. Unaweza patia word of encouragement gani?
One of the things that I want to address people that are watching me over there is that kitu ya kwanza ni vizuri ya kwamba ukubali kutembea na Mungu. Ukikubali kutembea na Mungu, neema ya Mungu itakubeba. Na ukifika mahali ambapo ujiwezi na uwezi ukapita pale, that is where God mwenye umemwambia Mungu nataka ukaange ukinibeba tu, hapo ndipo atajitukuza na atakubeba, atakufikisha. The other things that I want to tell people is that devil is scheming things. Devil is anatumia some schemes. Na saa hii shetani ameingia sana kwa simu. Ameingia sana kwa simu, unakuta mtu wako very busy na simu, people are very busy na social media. You're there, you don't have time to pray, you don't have time to read the word of God. That I want to tell people that ni vizuri sana uelewe kwamba Mungu anataka umutangulize kwanza, umweke katika ile nafasi ya kwanza, ndio na yeye akubali kutembea na wewe. That is what I have to tell them, because sasa kama Mungu alikuaminia huduma na akakuaminia kubeba hiyo huduma, ni vizuri sana umuulize unataka nifike wapi. Ukimuuliza hizo me I see where God is taking me. So sasa una drive, una concentrating na barabara. You don't concentrate na wale watu ambao wale watu ambao una concentrate na barabara. Because you know kama naenda Kitui saa hii nitajifunga mshipi na niambie gari yangu sasa tunaenda wapi? Kitui. Na nikunywa mafuta yenye itanifikisha. Because ukikunywa mafuta yenye haitakufikisha itaishia kwa barabara. So watu waelewe, na uelewe kama uko na huduma, uelewe Mungu anataka ufike wapi. Na kuna maroho matatu inatafuta waimbaji. Mungu ananisaidia kuelewa. Roho ya kwanza ambayo inatafuta waimbaji, moja ni kiburi. Ya kwamba ukiimba unasikia kama umetoshana na Mungu. Ranger Devil was a singer. Yeah. Anaelewa. Kitu ya pili yenye nimekuja kungundua ni kwamba kuna hii roho ya tamaa. Ni kitu mahali ni hudumu lazima niseme niweke gari mafuta. Ama niweke pesa fulani kwa bahasha. Tafadhali. I'm addressing the ministers that kama umeitwa, wacha huyo Mungu akushughulikia. Mimi sijawahi tisha pesa. Miaka yote ambayo nimeimba, na nilimba wimbo wangu wa kwanza 2010. Sijawahi pigia mtumishi wa Mungu ambaye amenialika kwa mkutano kuimba na mwambie Mr. Sir, I'm coming and I want to mafuta ya gari. I've never. I just fuel my car and I go.
Hata kwa economy.
Okay, me I believe when nitafika pale because me sometimes nimekuwa nikiminister na watu wanaleta pesa kwa madhabahu. So najuanga hiyo ni yako, nyinyi mniwekee kwa bahasha na zile zingine mapanga kunibariki nazo, mtanibariki na Mungu ataniinua. Na ile roho nyingine ya tatu ni roho ya usharati. Hiyo imemaliza watu. Unakuta mtu anafanya usharati leo na kesho ako kwa madhabahu na Mungu atashuka. Mimi na yeye Mungu za zingine ananishangaza. Unakuta mtu ameimba kama mwingine alikuwa ananiambia wewe nini niombe ninashindwa kutoka kwa hii. And I had to pray for that person. Because sasa anasikia imekuwa burden. So those are the three spirits ambazo zinatafuta huduma. Na nataka kuomaliza tu. 3 napingana nazo hizo hazitaniweza. Lazima nifike kule Mungu anataka nifike na pia nifikisha watu. Maana lazima nifike.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah.
Tumeshukuru. Na feel ni kama you are almost preaching. Nasikia nimepata kabaraka, and I hope back at home, whoever is watching back at home, but there you can reach out to us and reach out to Winfred here at KBC Channel 1 TV. That's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you just missed the interview, Paula sana, but you can find the repeat on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming through. Your words are very inspiring.
Amen.
Pia mimi nasikia ni kama nimekuwa challenged in my own way.
Amen.
And as we conclude, tunaweza maliza tena na hiyo wimbo.
Yeah.
Nifanye sauti yako.
Yeah.
I feel like we should all be, you know, a voice of it.
I sing it live.
Of course, of course.
Nifanye sauti yako. Nifanye sauti yako. Popote sauti itakaposikika uonekane. Nifanye sauti yako. Wewe ni Mungu inuliwe. Uliyenichagua tembea nami. Nifanye yo. Nifanye sauti yako.
Enough said. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
If you are a holder of any unclaimed financial assets, surrender all unclaimed financial assets in your possession to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, today without having to pay interest or penalties. Take advantage of the Finance Act 2022 moratorium on penalties and interests. For more information, visit www.ufaa.go.ke/holders. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Days will come and days will go. The season change.
Ana rabbukum, na mie ni Mola wenu. Fattakuni, mniogope mimi, bimtithali awamiri, ili kwa kutekeleza amri yangu, wajinabi zawajiri, na muepuke yale nimekataa.
Kunazo dua ambazo Muislamu anafaa kutekeleza ama kuzisoma wakati ambapo anatekeleza shughuli katika maisha yake. Kuna dua ambazo unafaa kusoma wakati unapoamka, wakati unapoingia msalani, na wakati ambao unaenda kulala, na pia katika shughuli zozote zingine. Na pia biidhnillah taala wafaa kufahamu kuwa kuna dua ambayo Muislamu anafaa kuomba wakati anapotaka kufanya maamuzi, na dua hii yafahamika kama istikhara.
Genius, what's our question for people category? Genius ndio huyo.
Hata sijasoma swali.
Wrong answer. That answer is wrong. Hapa sasa mambo imechacha. Watu wangu mko tayari? 10 seconds to answer the question. The only show in East Africa ambayo unaweza pata a second chance hata after umekosea. Patrick Jiro is popular for what sport? Great team. Is that the correct answer?
Wrong answer.
Aluta continua.
Akili, this is Akili. Hey there, friends, what time is it?
What should Akili say to greet little lion?
Wow!
Can you read the word?
Oh! Don't worry, Bush Baby. You can draw it again.
Akili, this is Akili. She has a secret. Tell us.
When the sun goes down, Akili goes to sleep, and she enters a world where all the animals speak.
Welcome back. This is still Good Morning Kenya, and from that amazing interview that we've just had, I feel inspired. You know, it's like I'm from getting someone from church and all that. So I hope you feel you got the same vibe from that. And now we're moving on to another interview. We have Genesis. That is his artistic name, and his official name is Joel Kimani. Joel, karibu.
Asante sana.
So I go with Genesis.
Yeah.
You prefer Genesis?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about you. Because what genre do you do?
I do everything, really. I don't want to confine myself to anything. But like I rap. I'm a rapper. That's like my predominant genre. I make Afro. I wouldn't say I sing, but I can hold a note here and there.
Okay, well, we're getting the hip-hop vibe from you. I don't know, because, you know, guys who sing hip-hop are like cool, collected, calm, you know. I want to mambo mingi.
Hivyo. That's what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell me about, what's your story?
What's my story? So I love music. Like, even aside from me making it, I love listening to music. I've loved music from when I was a youngin'. So I used to listen to music way back when my mom used to play music in the house. Nothing that I'm doing now. This Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, those type of records, yeah. And like I just liked it, and so I used to dance, and then I started writing poetry, and like people used to tell me, you're actually kind of good. And then I started making now music and releasing in 2020 during the pandemic.
So you started in 2020?
Yeah, I started releasing. Yeah.
Releasing the music in 2020, but you started way back.
I used to rap when I was in class 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, many people say they started from a young age, and it seems cliche, but for you, it's actually true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I used to rap with my friend. His name's Andrew Sakawa. I think he's even in the studio right now. We're in the same estate, so we used to rap together. And then, like, I think me, I picked it up. Him, he went to do football now. But
really,
me, I picked it up. Yeah, him left it. Yeah. So me, I started rapping, and I've never stopped. So yeah.
Okay, all right. And the fun thing about you is that you're 18, and
yeah, I'm 18.
You just turned 18. That's one fun fact about you.
Yeah.
So how do you see this going now that you're this young and you've already started releasing music and you're getting a good reception?
Yeah, I am. So yeah, I'm 18. That's crazy because that's young and I'm getting a lot. I mean, I'm on TV and I'm 18 years old. So it's like,
look at you.
That's a bit crazy. Yeah. That's a bit crazy. So I think what I can say is the journey has just begun. And where I'm trying to take this music thing, the older I get, is just, there's no boundary. I'm trying to do everything I can to push the Kenyan music scene as far as I can. So yeah, that's it.
And in future, do you see yourself maybe majoring or specializing in one genre? Because you said you do, you flow with anything.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself specializing in one genre, or do you think this is the safer, option?
I think if I do a lot of things, it increases my market. I'm just thinking like a businessman. If you're selling tomatoes and you sell oranges, not everyone eats tomatoes, but the people who don't eat tomatoes, some people can eat oranges. You know what I mean? So if I'm offering a large amount of product to people, then I have more buyers. That's how I'm thinking. So I don't think I'll ever specialize in something because I feel like I can make something for everyone.
Okay, and which artists do you look up to?
Hey, many. In Kenya, I love Nyashinsky. Nyashinsky is amazing. I love Calligraph Jones, Kahush. Outside now, I used to listen to Eminem when I was young. So even now I still do. A lot of people who are making a lot of music. Even Burna Boy, Wizkid, Rema, all that. Yeah.
And you've said something about this being, strategically something in business. You know? So what are you doing apart from music, or are you just majoring in music?
I'm in school. I'm 18, so I have to be in school. So I'm doing IR. I'm doing international relations. But then, I guess music. I'm doing music, but I'm thinking as a businessman because I do want to make money from the music. So I'm just thinking how I'm gonna move to get to that point.
So you'll still practice IR and music at the same time?
Definitely. I love to do diplomacy. The older I get,
Okay, so tell us something about the feedback that you get. What is the craziest comment that you've gotten online, and what is the best comment that you've gotten online?
Okay, let me not say online. Let me say during a show.
Okay.
Because I have performed so I'm performing, and everyone's like, I like bringing energy when I'm performing. So I don't like people standing still. I like to tell people jump, put your hands up, So I'm performing. Then some Nigerian man comes and puts money in my shirt while I'm on stage. So I'm like, hey, wow, okay. So I guess that's probably one of the
craziest things that have happened to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. You don't get girls, all over you and all that, because I was just looking through some comments and you can see ladies and
I mean, but okay. Yes, that does happen. But like me, when someone comes to put something in my shirt, I think that was quite crazy. I mean, it's out of the ordinary.
Okay. Sure. And what is the best feedback that you've gotten from your fans?
From my fans, okay, let me see. I have a song, it's called Vibe. So this song, it's just the audio. I just put the audio out. It's part of my album. I put the audio out and I'm performing the song. And so people are singing word for word everything that I did. And it's not like 2 people. There are many people singing, like 500 people that are singing the song. And I'm like, wow. It
is
a dream. I'm 18 years old, people are singing it touched me for real.
I mean, that must be awesome.
Yeah.
Must be nice. So tell us about the songs that you have released so far.
Okay. So I told you I released music in 2020, that's when I started. But I didn't go to a studio and all that stuff because I was in school. It was during the pandemic, so people weren't even going out. I was having online classes, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just release some music while people are not here. So when people are at home, so I record on my phone, and then I release. That's how I started.
Audio.
I record on, the voice recorder on your phone.
Yeah.
So I record on my phone, then I release.
And how was the reception for that song?
The thing is, right now I'm listening to the song. It's not good at all. But people are telling me, oh, this is so nice. This is so good. I'm like, okay, sawa.
So the humble beginnings.
Yeah, exactly. Humble beginnings. Because I'm in my room. I used to tell my mom and my brother, don't talk, I'm recording. They think I'm joking. So I reached a point now, my mom saw I was serious, so she helped me buy equipment. So I started recording now with a mic, and I have mixing engineers and producers to help me now refine my sound, and maybe I'll go to a studio every so often to do that as well. So I released a couple of singles, maybe like 15. Then I was like, okay, I think now I'm ready to drop an album, because albums are serious. For me, I take it very seriously to drop a whole project. So I dropped the album. It's called Journey. It has 12 songs. I think you just have to listen to it to know, because it's a journey, the whole project.
It's called Journey. So, okay, the name comes from the journey that...
Exactly.
So tell us a bit about that journey. You've mentioned that you started with, you recording audio in your house. How has it been, going now to studio? Because you've been to the studio. How has it been? Have you had problems with the producer? What are some of the challenges, some of the great things that you've experienced in that journey?
Okay. I try my best to work with a small team of people who I trust or like I know, like on a personal level. So I wouldn't say I have any problems with producers because they know what I like. So they'll send me a beat and they know this is the type of beat that Genesis would go on.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have a problem with producers. So they'll send me a beat and then I'll go down to the studio and then the writing process like happens. But like in terms of now the journey for making that album specifically, I made so many songs. I made like 300 songs before I made now that album. That album of 12 songs.
Okay.
I made so many songs and then I was like, okay, these are the best ones, and they send the message I want to send. So let me put those together and then now release it. Now this is my body of work.
Okay, so far you have one album.
I have one album
released. And what from all the 12 songs in that album, which one is your best? Which one stands out?
Which one stands out? Okay, which one stands out when okay, I told you I don't do one genre, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So in that album I have like 4 genres of music in there. So I have rap because that's my if it comes to rapping, I can rap.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll have to like stretch myself a bit to try and sing every so often. Then I make like Afro. Then you know what drill is? Grime.
Yeah, I have an idea.
Yeah, that one. So I'd make all that. So my favorite song for performing, I told you about Vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the song I love performing that song so much because everyone's.
Okay, so now that you have mentioned it, we want to hear some of it.
The song.
Yeah, the vibe.
The vibe song.
The vibe, yeah.
It's like this, yeah. I say. Ati Friday tulidunda tukaruka na maguys na pesa iliisha lakini tulijinais na Stacy alisema ako home alilai juu alikuwa klabu mina yeye vibe
Yeah.
tuli vibe yeah like that. So yeah, that's basically the song. I shot the video last week actually. So I'm excited. That's the one I'm excited the most to release to the public. Yeah, now here's a video, and I'm sure people will take it nicely.
So
like
where can people get you if they want to check out your songs on YouTube?
Check out my songs. Genesis, but now the I isn't an I, it's a 1. Yeah.
So it's Genesis, but the I
is a 1.
With a 1, okay.
Exactly. So Genesis on YouTube, Genesis on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, AudioMark, all that. Every platform, just search Genesis.
So Genesis with a Y across all
with a
social.
1. Yeah.
With a 1, sorry,
yeah,
with a 1 across all social platforms.
Yeah.
All right. So what inspired you to come up with Vibe or any song that you come up with? What is your inspiration?
So it depends with my mental state at the moment, because some songs I'll make. Like I told you, I can do Afro. So like if I'm in a mood where I'm trying to like now sing for those people in the comments, those girls who are trying to tell me, oh, this is nice. Yeah. So now if I want to make a song for them, it'll be like I'll have to be in that space. Then I'll go and I'll listen to an Afro beat, and I'll just I'll vibe to it a bit, and then now the words just come to me. I think it's a gift from God, honestly. Okay. Like the last guest said. Yeah.
All right, it's a gift. It just comes to you.
Yeah.
And what song out of those that you've released again has a story behind it? You're like, this song,
it's a story.
Producing this song, coming up with this song, which song has that a story?
The last song on the album is called Great.
Great.
Yeah, Great. It's song number 12. I made that song. I think it's foresight. I believe in speaking things into conviction. So if I say I'm going to be great, then
you're going to be great.
Like word of mouth. So if I say it and you hear it, and everyone says, "Yo, this guy's gonna be great," then now it just happens like that. So I said I'm gonna be great, and I believe I will. And in that song I speak about how I wanna reach new heights. I say I wanna buy my mama a house the first day I get paid. I wanna. Like that song specifically, for me, it touches me because it's real. Like I'm speaking something that I'm not just like rapping, like I'm saying something from
It's a story.
Inside.
It's a story that you want to see come to be.
Exactly.
And do you think stories of other people, some people are inspired by life experiences that other people have gone through of their own. Do you also think about
that? Definitely I do. Let me think. I'm trying to see if I can pick one from the album. Even Vibe didn't happen to me.
It's a story.
It didn't happen to me. It's a story of someone else.
Okay.
I say Stacy alisema ako home. So Stacy is someone's friend. it's not me. It's not my friend. So it's just a story I was told, and I was like, hey, that's nice.
a good.
Then let me write
that
about
down.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And now, your mom. You said your mom helped you buy the equipment.
Yeah.
So the support. You know, how is it being supported with your mom? You know, most African parents are like, kulipia school fees. You know, it's a lot. You just go and read. So yeah, how is it receiving support from your mom? You know, and what would you say to parents maybe watching and that they have children who want to get into the music industry?
Yeah, I can say that my mom has been my biggest fan since I was a small boy. So my mom's like, if I believe that she thinks that whatever I want to do, I can do it. So she just supports whatever I want to do. I say I want to go to school. Come to school. School is very easy. She'll say, go. I'll back you completely. When it comes to music, she didn't know. I didn't tell her that I was releasing music initially. That time when I was recording with my phone. She was told by a friend of mine.
Wow.
So she's a friend of mine. She tells my mom, have you heard Joel's new song? And then she's like, Ati song? He just sings in the shower. What do you mean song? Then eventually she listened to it and was like, okay, it's not my type of music, but I can see you're doing something.
Okay.
And that's now when she started backing me. So I just want to say, if my mom is listening, she probably is. I love my mom so much.
Yeah, big up to your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
And what support would you need from the industry? Maybe from the challenges that you've experienced, you know, being a new artist. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, and what support do you think you need?
Do I need? First of all, I just want to say thank you to KBC for having me. That's y'all are serious. I guess it's just no one really thinks you can do it until you do it. So that's until you show you can do it, until you have a large following of people who believe in you and like, yo, I can do it, and everyone else believes I can do it. People normally don't support. So what I beg people to do, not even just for me, just for Kenyan art in general, is give it a listen or give it a try, even if it's visual art, before, and base your opinion based on the art itself rather than how many people like that art, because people don't access things easily, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's what I would tell people. Like, personally, the support I would need, just keep listening.
Just keep listening.
That's the
only support.
That's all I need. Just keep listening.
Okay, no support. You don't need any support from the government.
The government.
Well, you know, the governor, Nairobi governor said, "Ataacha wasanii wa shoot free,
sure.
you know, in CBD," and we had to, you know, to see the implementation of that. Do you think that will be necessary? That is what
we'll just have to
need?
see. We'll just have to see.
Okay, we'll just have to see.
I hope that they do support artists. That thing for playing Kenyan music on radio stations, that's definitely something that could uplift the industry. Yeah, so we just have to see how it goes. But I can say that just listen. That's all you need to do.
Okay, and now back to you and singing. You know, any type of genre. Have you ever tried Gengetone?
Yes. Okay. So I told you I started music in 2020. Gengetone was popping when I was in Form 1. That was 2018. So I listened to it. I didn't quite understand what was happening, but when something is interesting, I'd like to listen. So I listened to it, and then I'd be like, okay, this is kind of nice. And then now I'd move. Now when I started making music, someone sent me a Gengetone beat once. And I was like, it's 2020, it's not really popping like that, but like, let me try. So yes, I've made a Gengetone song, but I don't think I'll ever release it, but I've made it.
Oh, so you've not released it. Was it among the other, you know, out of the 300, the ones that you said?
It's somewhere in there.
Well.
It's somewhere in there.
Should we expect a Gengetone release from you?
Would you listen to a Gengetone song?
Well, I mean, many people would, I think.
Yeah, okay, fine. I could release one. Maybe in the next album. I'm starting out to work on the next one.
Okay, so guys can tell you in your DMs. They can get you at
Genesis.ke. Yeah, that's my Instagram.
Genesis.ke. So yeah, people should give you a feedback on that. And now tell me, what are some of the bias or the myth that the public has towards artists, musicians, any type of art?
Yeah, I think people believe that if you're making music or you're an artist in whatever field, you're not really smart or like good at academics. I don't agree with that. I feel like that's not it. Like, everyone has a talent. Everyone has a talent. Everyone. I believe that's something that everyone is born with. So everyone should be able to do what they want to do in terms of the field, without criticism. So art is definitely art, sports, all that stuff that people normally shun on. Is I'm not an engineer, I'm not a pilot, but I'm a rapper. The pilot is good at piloting. I'm good at rapping.
Good at rapping.
Yeah.
So would you advise that someone goes into music full time? You know,
If you believe,
all factors considered, even the financial aspect of it.
Okay. What I can say is, if you believe in yourself,
you can
if
do
you
it.
believe in yourself, just do it. Man, I don't like thinking limits. If you think you can do something, nothing should stop you. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your experience so far, you know, financially with music, you know, artists complaining that they're not getting enough and all that.
Definitely.
Is it the same for you?
Yes, actually. What I can say is what pays the most is probably shows, but then shows don't happen all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I feel like there needs to be some certain parameters put around how artists are compensated, because we are bringing something to the table in terms of the market. So everyone listens to music. Everyone. The president will listen to music.
Yeah, music is good for the soul, so everyone.
Someone in the market will listen to music. So I feel like there should be some boundaries put where if you're making art, there has to be some compensation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something needs to be done in that area.
In that area.
And what about, you know, many musicians are coming into content creation, so it's not a thing for, you know, the actors alone or the content creators, but also musicians are getting into that space. What's your, you know, what's your thought on that? Yes.
Art, I told you, art, it comes in every form or shape. So I think if I decide that I want to maybe start a YouTube channel just to entertain the fans, or just to vlog about my life, just so you see how it is, why not? I think it's a good idea, honestly speaking, just creating more content for people, because there's a lot of stuff happening everywhere.
But we've seen a lot of kiki also, because people are trying to attract traffic to their channel, and, you know, traffic results to money and all that. So what do you think about, you know, that the famous, you know, artists that we've seen, you know, pulling kiki?
See, they're chasing the bug. They're doing what they can to get the
So are you open to it yourself?
I don't quite know. You know me, I just think, personally speaking, I think about music as what I want to do. So me, music, the whole process, recording, performing, promoting, being on KBC Good Morning Kenya.
Yes.
That's probably what I think I'd do for myself. But if you wanna do kiki, why not?
Okay. So if anyone wants to, you know, collab with you to some kiki, it's fine.
You call me.
About stuff.
Yeah, it's done. It's
on. We'll discuss.
Yeah.
Okay. And now there's some common terms that, you know, I hear in the music industry when you in the arts, you know, when you having an artist or something, you get people saying underrated and overrated.
Yeah.
So which of the two do you think?
Me, I'm underrated. I'm telling you, I'm underrated. My small brother, his name is Jeremy. He's 11. He just keeps saying this every time I enter the house. Like, the most underrated Kenyan artist.
Kenya.
The most underrated Kenyan artist has come home. So I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Well, okay.
That's true. Yeah, I genuinely do think you just need to listen. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to like the cadences in my music, because I like writing. So I told you I started with poetry. So I'd look at a rhyme scheme and how I can rhyme that rhyme scheme with the next one, then also create an internal rhyme scheme. So like, I just like all that type of stuff. So personally, I'm underrated for real.
People are not giving you enough credit.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. Okay, not so yet. Yeah, again, your channel is at Genesis with a one.
Genesis with a one.
Okay,
that's
and what collab would you want to do with maybe an artist in Kenya first and then internationally?
Now this next album. This next album, you know Kahush?
Yes, Kahush. Yes.
I want to collaborate with Kahush, and this next album I have to collaborate with Kahush.
So is it already in?
I'm working out the kinks on how we're gonna get that done.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say eventually, before it's all said and done, I have to do something with Nyashinsky as well.
Amazing.
Because he's amazing. Nyashinsky is amazing. Externally, Rema. I have to work with Rema.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got big goals there.
Yeah, big goals. You have to shoot aim for the sky. If you miss, you're on the roof. It's in there. Yeah.
True, very true.
Yeah.
And what are some of the, as we wrap up this conversation, for an artist who wants to, an artist, how your mom said, ulikonga tu anajua tu when you are buff.
Yeah, when I'm buff.
So for someone who's in that state right now, and they believe that they have the potential, so what would you say is the secret to getting in and being up, to just staying up?
What I can say is, if you believe in yourself, you don't let anyone get in the way of that. If you think that you can do it, you personally as an individual, you think this is what you are meant to do and you can do it, and you believe you can do it. Even if it gets hard, just push. Because someone once told me, maisha haina marking scheme.
I know.
Maisha haina marking scheme. So you push, do what you can. If you're in the bafu singing, and even if it's not that good, but you think it's good, one day it will be good. Maybe someone out there will think it's good. So you just do it for them.
You just start.
Push.
Well, we've had artists coming out and out of EOI, they believed in themselves, but really you don't feel like they're meant to sing.
To do it, yeah.
So is in a good way. So is there a way to to kujianalyze any kujua? Is this viable for me? Or is anyone can sing? You just need the right training.
Okay, me, I'm not a singer. So me singing, in terms of singing, hitting the notes that can be hit, I don't know if I could, but I'd have a song where I would try and sing every so often. So what I can say is, get someone to listen to what you're doing, and if that person thinks that what you're doing is good, then go to another person. Get 3 people. You have an opinion based on. At least they won't lie to you. Not all 3 of them will lie to you. So you'll know whether or not it's a thing for you to do. But you should try. Just try.
Okay, just try. All right. So thank you very much for the interview. And we want to hear just a song as we close this up. Maybe your new song.
A new song.
The latest, Hold Me.
Hold Me.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do us a chorus. But first, before we go, tell us where you can get you on your social handles. And then you close it with the song.
Okay, you can find me. Look at the camera or something.
Yes, you have your camera this
time. So you can find me Genesis.ke on Instagram, Joel is Genesis on Twitter. The Genesis on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Audio Mac, Boomplay, SoundCloud, you name it. Just look for me. Yeah.
All right, so let's close with the song.
So I sing?
Yes.
Okay, so the chorus is, the verse goes, how you make me feel like this, shawty thinking about you, make me reminisce. Hourglass shape, let me take a drink. Tell me what's on your mind, tell me what you think. Cause a girl like you's on my wish list. Listen, rap is my gift like Christmas. I can't stop thinking about you, baby. Girl, tell me what you want from me. I'ma search the world, give you anything. Down, I know you my remedy. Take it easy like KBC. Baby, wind the body all up on me.
Yes, I got the KBC bit of it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming again.
Thank you.
That has been Genesis. He's an all-round artist. He has come to us, to share his story about his journey, and that's where we bring to a close this particular conversation. But more is to come. Don't go too far. This is Good Morning Kenya.
Amka, mina panda hizo charts siwezi kushuka. Buddha, hearing my tunes wanaanza kuruka. Hearing my name wanaanza kushtuka. Saying my flow be crazy like Ludacris Brown. Nigga, I'm rapping this town. Haters, I'm making them frown. Cause I'm at the top and I'm not looking down. Wow, okay, almost a climax, I'm starting the foreplay. Nigga, go back and listen to what I say. I'm making tracks every other Thursday. I'm dropping tracks every other Friday. So one day, I'm gonna be making 100K. And that gonna be in a slow day, they say. Hey, what it do? I've been listening to the tunes, been getting hella views. Hope the next jam coming soon. Like, hey, what it do? I've been listening to the tunes, you've been getting hella views. Hope the next next year I'm coming soon. Like, yeah, coming soon, yeah, coming soon. I've been listening to the tunes. Hope the next year I'm coming soon. Like, yeah, coming soon, yeah, coming soon. I've been listening to the tunes. Hope the next year I'm coming soon. Coming soon. Ungedani any movie. Making jokes when I say I'm goofy. Picking flows when I say I'm choosy. Eat this beat. Ungedani any booty.
Hearing that Genova's returned.
Yes, he was here, but he's left again.
So quickly.
He left Betsy back in the human world. He was in a rush to get back to her.
People can make my father mad. You're really talented. I respect that. Take care.
Shut up! Do you even know who I am, huh?
Highness.
Let them go. Dark magic. Avian dark magic. Well, this started long ago. What could this be about?
What if Ethan harassed me? No doubt the king would punish him. So don't be afraid. In the eyes of the king, I'm important.
If only I had given you the starfish, and if you had accepted it and responded to what I had always been feeling for you. If only you would realize that this love is eternal.
Cheese! No. Why did you turn your face?
I don't like my pictures being taken. No, don't do it again.
Why? What's wrong with your photo being taken? Do you really mean that, love? Will you be able to kill someone?
It depends on the motive. But yeah, I think I can. And you?
I wish you'd be able to remember who that other woman who was carrying the gun was so that we can obtain real justice.
Thomas, after the hell the Samoan werewolf Fatu put to you, you wish to enter in again. Abandon. You want to take that risk with your family sitting at home, worried about if Daddy is going to be all right. Your children's tears are going to be on your head, and Fatu's hand is going to be on your throat.
Tom Lawler, this ain't no Figure 4 podcast.
sauti yako, nifanye ndawa kwa wengine, upate sauti hii itakaposikika uoneka, nifanye sauti yako.
Exactly 10 minutes past the top of the hour. We continue our pace with the day's conversation. Now, coming back to matters lifestyle, we look at something a bit different right now. Matters to do with modeling, commercial modeling, runway modeling, fashion modeling. That forms the center of our conversation in the next about 28 minutes, I should say. And my guest is here. That is Dorcas Wangari, who describes herself as a runway stroke, a fashion model. In fact, in October, she'll be representing Kenya in Nigeria as Miss Humanity Africa Kenya. Karibu sana to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
You're going to represent us actually next month in like a week and some days.
Yeah, actually, I think I have, is it 4 weeks to go?
Or so that should be late October?
Yes, on 24th of October, next month, yeah.
It's actually 4 weeks, about 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Representing the entire country.
Wow,
in
that is
capacity.
Huge. That is huge, you know.
It is. It's actually a big deal.
Sure.
And we'll get to that in a short while.
Yeah.
But you began modeling in 2018. And you didn't really get to runway immediately.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. At what point did you begin from, and what kind of model were you before you got to runway? Because again, also runway is a big deal, yeah?
Sure, it is.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, as you have said, I started modeling in 2018, but I wasn't even so serious about it because I was not really sure about the modeling. But I tried several pageants. Several auditions where you go and nothing happens. You know, you go, you don't even, you do the auditions, but you don't get to contest. And that was so annoying. And I remember when I was in college, I was studying Beauty Point College because I did cosmetology. And I remember seeing people coming to our school doing practices, and I was really admiring what they were doing, you know. And one day I asked myself, I told myself, these girls are wearing very high heels, 6-inch, 5-inch. How do they manage to walk on them like that? So I started training myself at home. While I just put my mirror and my heels and walk. But I didn't know what I was doing. And then one day I saw someone talked to me about the modeling, and they were having a competition, and I went for the auditions, and we went for the training. I think it was like almost 1 month or so. We went for the training. After training, we started for the competition. When we went, I remember that one of the ladies told us that we were supposed to be given some clothes and some shoes. And during the competition, the training, we were registering, we were giving 500 for the registration. And at the end of the day, you say to yourself, you register, and then there are so many things that you're going to get. So I was excited about it. And we did the runway, even though I think I wasn't into it so much, but I had the excitement. So, and after the competition, I didn't even get to near even to top 10, leave alone even top 10, top 15.
This is now 2019?
2018, that is, yeah.
Okay.
So when we finished the competition, we were given some clothes. And at the backstage, I remember one of the organizers told us to give back the clothes back to the she told me the clothes that we were given, I should return them back.
Okay.
And the shoes. And that was so heartbreaking.
You didn't expect that?
I didn't expect that. And I remember at the backstage I was crying because I was excited because I received these clothes. And this was the first promise, remember? When we were starting the competition, this is what you told us. And I was so excited about it. And I remember one of the girls coming to the backstage and she told me, stop crying. It was never meant to be yours. But to me, at the end of the day, in the back of my mind, I was feeling that was so wrong because this was what I was doing to get. And I didn't give up. I continued doing the modeling. And the second competition I did, actually I think I was even evicted before even the competition. Because
what was the story?
I remember they told me that when I was not confident, and then they looked at my work, I wasn't that good, unlike now. So I remember even my shoes got broke at some point, and then I said, it's okay, and I went home. I remember I just cried and just went home. And I saw another one and I went for it. So it was just going for each and every, whenever I see something coming up, I'll go for it. But maybe I don't even get near to be top 5 or top 10. So, but I didn't give up. I told myself, because this is something I'm so passionate about it, and this is something I've been wanting to do for so many years, let me go for it. And I remember the first title actually I got was in 2021. That was, I got Miss Kiambu County.
But just before that, because I mean, this is your story, basically how you started into modeling. Because again, this is some of those industries whereby there's usually quite a good number of challenges, I should say, quite a number of them. And you listen to stories of, you know, those in these spaces, modeling, whatever form, could be commercial, fashion, runway, and I'm telling you, it's just a story of resilience. So then before you got to this point, because also there's so many accolades underneath your name, which form of modeling was this that you did before you got to runway? Or was it just audition, and then boom, one day things worked out and now you got yourself to this space?
By then, actually, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought it was just going to model.
So you're just doing auditions?
Just doing auditions, just trying. I wasn't even considered to any of those. So I was just trying to see if I can get to any one of these that, you know, I used to watch Miss World, Miss Universe, and I could tell myself, why can't I be in that level? But at the end of the day, it's a step. You know, you don't just wake up and do it like that. It's a process. So I was just doing for auditioning, and one day I remember saying to myself, if I can't get to this point of going to Miss World or Miss Universe, then I'm not serious about this. And I had to keep on focusing and doing it more and more and more again.
Talk to me a bit about your growing up, because there's a point where you mentioned after, I think it was the first audition that you didn't get, but you still kept on pushing. I mean, that's why we are here in this life. You never give up.
I never
It's
give
never
up.
done until it's done. So you keep pushing up until it actually works out for you. But there's a point where you said that at that point, you know, after the first audition, you didn't get it, and so you started training yourself, you know, at home, wearing those shoes, trying to walk in them, just to stabilize and at least to be good at it. So then, while in that space, in the home space, because talents are oftentimes nurtured there. You know, a parent, a guardian will spot it, will see the practice and will say, they can actually do this. So they start to help you grow, if it's a skill, if it's a talent, so to speak. So while you're growing up, how was it, even as you're practicing? What was your upbringing like? What was it like for you?
Well, I can tell you
there's a story. There's a story there.
Yeah, it is, but I'll keep strong. I remember when I was growing up, it wasn't that easy on my side, because I grew up raised by a distant family, whereby it wasn't my biological family, whereby I never had a chance to meet my biological mom or my biological dad. I never had a chance. I have no idea whether they passed on or they're still alive.
So you don't even know them?
I have no idea.
How then did this distant family have access to you?
I got myself to that family. One of the guys there, actually, I call him like an uncle, whereby he's not my biological uncle. He told me that I was brought to that family when I was very little. So meaning maybe my mom or my dad brought me to that family, but I could not even understand myself. And that was one of the hardest experience. I wouldn't wish even one day when I get married, my kids to experience such. Or even growing up without a mom or someone to guide you. Like, for me personally, I can tell you that I've never been guided by a parent. Like, being taught what to do or how to do things, you know, I trained myself. I could watch what people do.
You're self-taught.
And and I do it because I didn't have that experience as a child. I didn't have that experience of having to wake up and see my mom, you know, or my dad or my siblings. It was not there. And it was so heartbreaking because at the end of the day, as a girl, there's so many things you want to learn from your mom.
Yeah.
As a woman, there's so many things you want to learn from your mom, but they're not there to guide you. So even the family that was there, they weren't guiding me to that because number one, I was a rejected kid. I can say I was followed by the spirit of rejection. Do you know, like, any place I will go, people will always be against me, or no one want to associate with me.
That just because of the kind of
because
history.
of the background, you know.
Yeah.
Even I remember the first time I came to Nairobi, I could even get a job today. Tomorrow they tell me not to report.
Just like that?
I haven't wronged anyone.
Like, wait, you as in, if it's an interview, audition, whatever it is,
yes,
things work out, they even like tell you you are set to begin, but then
you come tomorrow,
just moments later,
don't come back. That was spirit of rejection. And that is the worst thing someone can ever experience. It is
so
the
these
worst.
things are actually true, eh?
They are true.
They are true.
Something, or maybe I'll just go to or maybe we can meet. I've never met you before. You won't like me. Like you won't even like to associate with me. Yet you don't know me. And that was so heartbreaking. So all the time I would ask myself, what really happened? You know, what is this all about, whereby nobody wants to associate with me? I haven't wronged anyone, but I'm always rejected. So one day I sat down and I told myself, no matter how bad it is, I'll keep on pushing because I don't know what's wrong with me. And I remember one day a pastor prayed for me, and that's when things started changing in my life. But I testify to you, when I was in the village back then, it wasn't good at all. Because at some point I felt, I was depressed. People say there is depression, and some people would think it is not true, but it is there. Me, I was depressed, I was devastated, name them. Because most of the times, you want to have a friend. You know, at some point, I would want to have friends in school when I was in primary school. They were always be avoiding me, so I was always alone, staying alone, being alone in everything, even in school, at home. Whereby you'll come at home, you ask for something, they'll tell you. I remember when I was growing up, the lady who raised me up, she used to tell me I'm a very stupid child. And I would keep on telling her I'm not a stupid child, because I believed that you might speak bad words to me, but one day you salute me. And that is what I'm working with today. And that has been my encouragement day and day in, because many a times I felt like even losing hope, losing life. I remember one day I tried to kill myself, suicidal. And that is one thing so many people experience in this world, because they don't have someone to talk to. I didn't have anyone to share. Like today I can say, come to you, I'll talk to you, I'm going through something, and you listen to me. That time, I didn't have anyone to listen to me. I didn't have anyone to look up to, because I was all alone. And that was so annoying, because at some point, I'll tell you, the reason, I'm very emotional, by the way. I'm even fighting so hard right now.
I can see, and you're really being strong at it.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. I remember at some point, I would always cry, ask myself so many questions, whereby you don't even get answers, you know. And then I remember one day asking the lady who raised me up, if you say maybe you're my parents, where is my dad? The slap I got from that woman.
So the person who took you, who was raising you
as a guardian, now,
instead of even being good to you, given the circumstances, still you're really a story of resilience.
I know.
And I mean, that's why we are here anyway. I mean, Good Morning Kenya is also just much about that, just trying to give you and bring to you those uplifting stories, those stories that can push you forward, those stories that can be encouraging to you, that actually make you see that it's not really the end. I mean, as we keep saying oftentimes, it's never the end up until it's the end. So it simply means that if you're still alive, kicking, there's still a lot that you really need to fulfill and accomplish. And that is your story, I mean, Dorcas. Just also looking at that upbringing, because it's really tied a lot to the kind of person that you are. I mean, representing Kenya in that big capacity is largely tied a lot to your story, because, I mean, if you would have decided, by the way, this is it for me, you know, you wouldn't be in this space, in this, you know, big capacity. So even at this point, did you ever get to meet your siblings, or it was just this guardian who took care of you at that point? What was it like?
Well, I never had a chance to meet any. But even today, I'm still looking for my mom and my dad. Even my siblings, if they're there, come out.
They should come and say,
you know.
Wajitambulishe mahali.
Anyway, but it has been a journey. I never had a chance to meet them. I never had a chance to meet anyone. But where I grew up, I say that maybe that's my home, because that's where I grew up, even though that is not my biological home. But you know, everyone has a ushago. That's what they say. And that's where I grew up, so that's why I know like my ushago. Even though at some point they don't take me in as their own, you know, whereby you want to, you know, at some point you get to Christmas, even today. I remember, like, not even last year, no, it was 2020, it was COVID, people didn't even travel. At some point, any Christmas, I'll see how people travel, they're going to the ushago, and I'm always back there. I'm like, wow, it's okay. I'm strong.
You are strong.
I'll keep on pushing no matter how hard it is,
exactly.
You know?
And you know, as they say, I mean, our stories can never be the same. And they always say that whatever issue that comes your way, whatever God allows, it's because He knows you're strong enough to handle it.
Exactly.
And it's all for a purpose. So you're in that particular position, not just for you, but for the many who perhaps are looking up to you, who might look up to you, and they would say, if Dorcas did it despite the circumstances and challenges, then who am I? Why not me, you know? So let's just fast forward and come back to some of those accolades underneath your name. Miss Kiambu County, first runners-up. Miss Africa Unite Kenya, first runner-up. And as we said, you're going to represent the country in the Miss Humanity Africa Kenya 2022. I mean, amidst all these challenges, Dorcas, you still went ahead. You still decided, this is what I really want to do. My passion is here, despite the many auditions that I did, and some of them failed. I was almost getting a job. Then as I'm preparing to go for the job, moments later, they just say, they just decide, by the way, you know, it's not working. So talk to me about all these achievements that at the end of the day you were able to get despite all these difficult circumstances, and even in that space, in this industry, as you say, it's not one of those easy industries. So how it was just you know, working through the modeling industry and achieving all this despite the rough.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it is.
I remember, was it 2020? Before COVID, there was a competition that was supposed to happen, but it was postponed due to COVID. So that year, remember, 2020 there were no events. We're just at home. But 2021, I saw this. I think the still event happened. It was now Miss Kiambu County. For Miss Kiambu, actually it was Miss Kiambu and Miss Nairobi. So, and I went for the audition. We did the audition actually at Kenya National Theatre. We were 90 girls, and that was so...
KNT has really grown a lot for people in the arts.
I'm telling you. Imagine, after all that day, we stayed there, I think, almost the whole day. And the audition was very stiff, I can tell you. The competition itself was very stiff, because I remember there were even girls who were lighter. You know, in the industry of modeling, they say you're not supposed to model if you're not dark, you know, you're not supposed to model if you're not tall.
We still have that in 2022?
No, not really.
At least it's fading away.
It's fading
now there's
away.
Appreciation of all skin colors and skin types, because it used to be a very big problem.
Yes, exactly. And if you're not from 5.7, personally I'm 5.4. If you're not from 5.6, you cannot model.
That's specifically for runway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I thank God for that opportunity. I'm 5.4. There even girls who are very taller than me. So I remember we went for the audition, and we did the audition, and I didn't even expect to be among the chosen ladies. And after a couple of days, I was texted, and I was told I'm part of the ladies who are chosen. We'll be having a boot camp. The boot camp was happening in Shalom House, that is in Kong Road. And we went for training. And I remember where I was working, the people were very supportive. My colleagues were very supportive. I've never had people who were so supportive and they were showing love, you know. And remember this, when I was growing up, I didn't have a chance to be shown love as a kid, you know. And these people were very supportive. And
so this comes as a surprise.
It was a surprise. They voted, you know, like where I was working with, the clients were the one who were voting for me. This was like, wow. So we went for the boot camp for 3 months, and it was brilliant. And remember, we were being our coach was the coach for Miss World. Her name is Pinet Joan. Thank you for everything you did for us. I learned a lot through her, by the way. And we had a great time. We kept on going for the training until, and people were being evicted, I was still saved. People evicted, I'm still on the safe side until I got to top 15. So for the top 15, there was a pre-judging whereby now we are choosing for the finalists, for the people now to be on the runway.
Yeah.
And I didn't even expect for that opportunity. So I was representing Kiambu County. There was different counties people were representing. And we went for, actually it was Nairobi and Kiambu, yeah, sure. And I was chosen up to top 10. Now top 10, we were going to the runway. We went for the runway, we did what we were supposed to do. And I was chosen for top 5. And I kept on telling myself, I got this. But still the competition was very stiff, you remember? And then we did the Q&A, because whenever we are doing the modeling, there is always a Q&A. And one thing most judges look at is your confidence and your work, also how you take yourself. And also through the bootcamp training, there is also how disciplined are you? And if you are told something to do something, are you doing it? Are you disciplined? You know, how are you carrying yourself?
So then it means also in this space, not just a matter of how you look, your physical appearance, the height, which is one of those things that people look at. It also goes to your head, you know, your intellectual capacity, your discipline. These are things that people really think that when you come to this arts industry, they don't matter. But from what you're saying, they really
matter
hold
so
weight.
much. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, so they looked at that. Actually, discipline, it gives you many marks, actually. So there was all those things that we are looking at. And I remember when I was called as first runners up, I remember I cried, actually. That was so beautiful to me. And I happened to win the title for Miss Kiambu. And actually was supposed even to do now the entire country.
This is now in
2021, actually.
This is just last year.
So we finished the competition. It was supposed even to happen now for the whole country, but unfortunately it was postponed maybe until further notice. And I was so happy, something that I never saw coming. Because the competition was so stiff. There's so many ladies who could have been chosen, and I was chosen among them. So it was just amazing.
Such a beautiful story. I mean, after, is it like 2 to 3 years of attempt? As I say, you can't give up in this life. I mean, just keep on. Up until you see it happen, keep on giving it your best shot up until you actually see it manifest. But then again, I also want you to talk to us very quickly about some of these challenges in the beauty industry and modeling, because like I said, and you had also alluded to it a bit earlier, there's always that issue of we want specific skin types, or I mean, not skin types, but skin colors. And it actually has been there for quite some time. And there's always that preference of light skin. And also when you look at good number of adverts, over time, just almost up until recently, that has been the case. So aside from that, what are some of those issues in this industry that also, I mean, keeps pushing and pulling back the industry?
Okay, mostly when it comes to modeling, if you don't have someone who is supporting you, it's a challenge. Because in modeling industry, I can say there are so many requirements. You have to buy clothes, you have to buy shoes.
And that time, nando umeanza too.
Nando umeanza, imagine. For your first competition, imagine, for example, you are required to have like 5 outfits. And at the end of the day, you're the one who is buying for yourself. Like right now, I can say that I'm going to Nigeria. There is a lot at hand right now, whereby I'm the one who is sponsoring this trip alone. Meaning, I really need support in terms of finance. You get me? So most of the time, it's most finance. Finance is one of the things that can make so many girls to pull back, because maybe the requirements are higher expensive, whereby they cannot meet them. And I can tell you that I've seen ladies, we start with them, and in the middle of the competition or the training, they pull back because they're not able to afford. Because for a red carpet gown, the cheapest one maybe, unless maybe even if you're hiring a gown, it runs from 7,000, 5,000.
And this is just for one moment like that.
Exactly, and maybe you're supposed to have like 3 of them or 5 of them. And at some point, it's so stressful, especially when you don't have a supporting system.
So that's why the support system is, quite important. That bit of finances, I keep saying all the time, anytime you're having a conversation concerning matters to do with arts in this kind of industry, it never misses.
True.
Just goes to show you how finances is important. It is necessary, one of those requirements in whatever capacity or space that you're in. So, and you have also said that was one of your biggest issues. And going by this competition happening on the 24th of October, it is also one of those things that you'd really like to get support on. How have you navigated this over time in this, is it like a year or a year and a half that you've been in the industry, and also moving forward, how has it been like for you just trying to bring things together, bring funds together, so that you don't give up and say,
So for me, I can tell you it hasn't been easy, because any time that we are doing a competition, I always try, if the competition is happening in 3 months' time, I have to work so hard, save some retro money, and at the end of the day, there are other bills to be paid, remember? So I save some retro money and keep on pushing and buying things in advance, because at some point, it's not easy to get those things, and you have to be specific. And most of the times, I always want to be an outstanding. I want to be different. When I work on that runway, I want to be noticed. I want to draw the attention. And before you get to those things, you have to work hard for it. So at some point, it's so stressful if you don't have a support system. But no matter how, I always say that when you want to do something, and I keep on saying, even telling my fellow models, when you want to do something, no matter how tough it is, never give up, because you never know what is out there. You never know who is watching you out there. You never know who is there, who can support you there. And I told myself, like, this time, the upcoming competition, this was an opportunity, and it will never come again. And once it comes, it will go. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, and I'll keep on pushing that this is something that comes once in a lifetime, and it was given just like that. And I want to go for it. There's not time of pulling back, no matter how tough it is. Don't pull back when you want to do something. Keep on pushing. There are limits, I know. At some point you feel like you want to give up. I'll tell you the truth. At some point right now I'm feeling like overwhelmed with so many things, but I thank God I'm still strong and keep pushing.
Okay, well said. And in just like 45 seconds, I want you to just tell me very quickly what your expectation is, even as you head over to Nigeria for the Miss Humanity Africa Kenya. Very quickly, what is your expectation
in Nigeria?
Yes.
Well, I'm expecting a lot, actually. The competition is stiff, as I meet those ladies from different countries, actually. And I'm hoping for the best as I go there. I'll do my best to make this country proud. And my wish, or my wish to everyone, is that if you can manage to support me in any way, I'll be grateful, because I can't do this on myself. It's very tough. But I believe that when we come together as a country or as a family, we can do this. And I know a word of my mouth, or even just going out there and speak something good. I know there's someone out there watching and would really love to do something. And I'm grateful for the few people who have been supportive. For the Fanikisha Talanta, they have been so supportive. I'm so grateful. And maybe, I don't know, I can give out my social handles or maybe my number. So if you want to support me, you can get me through Doris Carey 748, that is my Instagram account, or Doris Carey Facebook account. Also my contact is +254 0718 326 561, and I'll be grateful.
Well said. Good place to end it. And I'm so sure for those that are watching will be willing to support you in one way or the other. I have been speaking to Dorcas Wangari, who is a runway as well as a fashion model. A good place to end this conversation, and ultimately, good morning, Kenya. I'm Doreen Arange Okello, and on behalf of the entire team, asante sana. Till next week, have a good morning.
To get Change Your Thinking Skiza tune, dial star 811 star 961 hash.
When you change the quality of your thinking, you change the quality of your life. Sometimes instantly, just as positive words can make someone calm, smile or laugh, your thoughts will react to the world in real time. So, change the quality of your thinking.
Dial star 811 star 961 hash. Star 811 star 961 hash.
Unajua kwamba Jackie alitekwa nyara na utasiwajua?
Nataka kuyajua haya maneno. Bila unasikia nilosema.
Ni salama. Not again. Your daughter needs you. Both of you.
Sasa vipi leo utamshabikia Kate wakati mimi ndio mama Kibali?
Mimi sitaki kuteseka kwa makosa ya Badi.
Sitaki kusumbuliwa kuhusu Jackie alipo wala atakapokuwa.
Heshima na simama.
From glory to glory, from grace to grace, oh, long live excellence.
Inakisiwa kuwa utandawazi na teknolojia ndiyo chanzo kubwa au chanzo kikuu cha vifo hivi. Je, tutazuiaje teknolojia kumaliza vijana wetu?
Nakumbuka hadi chuo moja alinipiga kaa punda. Huku akidai eti mimi ni kilema. Wasee waliniita danda eti jumisi performer.
Wallahi nimeo